let's get into our announcements before we absolutely lose it. We are starting with some Kino tonight. Kino announced December 10th they are putting out Pray for Death from 1985 and Rage of Honor from 1986. These are both going to come with the new commentary by Mike Leader. Mike Leader, friend of the channel. He is the one that usually does these with Arna Venema. They are getting the unrated and R-rated version of Pray for Death. And then we've got a bunch of legacy features that were on, I believe, the previous Arrow release of these. So we are looking at some pretty solid releases if you are into these and do not have the previous blue.
Are you telling me, Ryan, that a label took the time to put out 2 different cuts of a film?
Yes, but neither one of them are in 4K, so nobody cares.
All right. Well, I'm just saying the list is no longer short. But okay.
Yeah, these look good, and I do not have the Arrow release, I don't think, of either one. So
thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, looks like a good one. Going to our next one. This is interesting.
Did you
November?
This is like this.
I had to censor it.
Oh, I was just okay.
November 30th on Blu-ray in the U.S., Treasured Films is releasing Reality Killers from 2005. They are doing this through Diabolic DVD. This is a limited slipcover version exclusive to Diabolic DVD in North America. Now, what's interesting here is this one was essentially a lost film. And we hear a little bit about this through an interview with Eugenio Ercolani, who's just on film blogger Sam's channel, who's a friend of the show. Everybody needs to go check out that interview. And just for a heads up, I also just had no idea that he was interviewing Eugenio. I interviewed Eugenio again. That'll be coming up in the next couple weeks. And we got a little more information on Reality Killers. This is pretty crazy. This is supposed to be a pretty good movie, but it feels like something that probably feels a little older than 2005.
It looks 2000 as fuck. I'll be honest with you. Like,
the visual, sure, but like the story and what happened with it being almost a lost film definitely feels more 1985. But the reality of this pun on the title there is that they could not release this in the UK, so they said, "Well, we got the rights. Let's do it in the US, where the BBFC will not deny us."
It looks like a SOV. Is it SOV?
Based on the timing, I would imagine so. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
Let's see if it says.
Because the cover, the slipcase, does not resemble the inner. Like it looks like 2 different movies.
Yep, kind of a lot of it. Yeah. It does not say. Yeah, not sure.
Okay.
If anybody knows, let me know.
I'll have to look up.
But yeah. You can pre-order that from Diabolic now.
Yeah.
This is very early to be speaking on this. So put up a new video on the channel last week on Friday, I think it was, and it is an almost 30-minute, essentially a documentary about Tobe Hooper, and it is told by many of the people that worked on American Twilight, the cinema of Tobe Hooper, which is a book that dear friend Will Dodson edited with Chris Woofter, and we got a lot of people that contributed to the book. We even got Mr. Joe Bob Briggs to hop in and give some thoughts on Tobe Hooper. Really proud of the work that was done on this. I think it's incredibly edited. But some other things, if you have not watched that are important in this, Someone's Favorite Productions is in the middle of doing a lot of things right now. So if you want to stay up to date on that, make sure you subscribe on YouTube to us there, and then follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all that fun stuff. We also just launched our own website. If you go over to someone'sfavoriteproductions.com, you can check out the full website. I'm pretty happy with it. There's a lot of stuff that I want to add in the future, but you can stay there. You can subscribe to the email newsletter. There's going to be a lot coming up. I hope that you guys check it out, because we're in the middle of a lot of projects. I can say that. That's for sure.
Good stuff.
Did you happen to watch the video?
Which video? We're talking about?
Tobe Hooper video.
I did not. Is there a video? Is there a link? Did I miss something?
It came out last Friday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I did not. But
that's all right. I hope everybody that has watched it likes it, and we'll talk more about that soon. Probably next time Will's on here. But we are getting maybe the most important announcement here. Kino Lorber sometime soon will be releasing Babe on 4K. This is the 1995 pig movie Babe on 4K. That's a big deal. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that.
Well, I think is this the time that we can talk about the Kino developments as of late?
Yes, but I also want to point out one thing before you say that.
Yeah.
Somebody said in the chat, "Pig in the City or nothing." I do want to point out that on Saturday, when only this was announced, I did call my shot and say, "I bet that gets announced tomorrow." So just so we know, I can tell you what's getting announced by Kino. I guess I know it all.
Did they announce Pig in the City?
They did. We'll talk about that in just a minute, though.
Oh, okay. Again, I don't know how this benefits Kino to do this, because if anyone hasn't heard, they canceled Lost in Translation, and I don't know if it's official, but they've said on their pod that it's pretty much like close to canceling Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And honestly, this is just 2 titles out of the many that had coming soon put on there. We did get most of those. Obviously, there's some stuff they've mentioned that is still pending, but I don't know. I understand building anticipation, but when you have an unknown period of time, and you have, like, when it's situations where, like, we can't get in contact with the person who has the negative, not just we're working on it, we're in the midst of working on it. You haven't talked to the director yet, who needs to approve the print. So I just don't know where this helps them. Do you have an insight into that?
I mean, it helps them because it keeps people talking about them. That's probably the only way. And obviously now that we, have weekly and really from Kino daily announcements, the thing that I don't understand is you are opening yourself up for just complaints on every single post. So even if you post some amazing title releases in 2 months, here's the release date and all the details, there's going to be 4 people in the comments saying, sure, but where is Lost in Translation? And that just doesn't work like that. Like, you probably should find a better way to plan things out and make choices that people can rely on. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
But I'll say this: I mean, Kino, as far as turnaround, as far as putting titles out, has more than any other label.
Sure.
Just every day there, and it's like, it is a detailed title. It's a title that comes out in a week or 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's like, why do you need to do this coming soon a year from now? Because at this point, it's like every day you're making, it's like today it was Infernal Affairs. It's like, we're going to talk about it. It's like, you have something to talk about. So why do you shoot yourself in the foot by doing this?
It's true.
I just don't know why. That's almost like if I told you, if I suggested, like, well, why doesn't Vinegar Syndrome just, tell people, coming soon, this movie, this obscure movie, and you're like, because then if they don't get it right, they're going to get complaints. Like, if say Kino didn't do that, like no one did the coming soon thing, and I as a fan said, why don't they do this? Anyone would look at me and go, because that would be a dumb move.
Right.
Because they could, basically it's like you're jinxing yourself. It's like something could go wrong. And
it has multiple times.
And that's why most companies are just like praying that, certain a-holes on the internet don't leak their title from coming out because they want to surprise people. So I don't know why this one company's like, let's tell people before we have any of our ducks in a row what we're doing. And then, dedicated fans, I've seen it happen in person, go out places like Academy here in New York, and they sell their old disc.
Yep.
Trying to get the most money. It's like, I'm selling it. Kino's putting it out. And then it gets canceled. Like, shit, I sold my copy of Lost in Translation.
Look how many people did that with the title we're going to talk about some controversies with tonight.
Oh, my God. Not me.
But that being said, Babe is a great movie, will look beautiful, and I'm sure a lot of people will be very, very happy.
Speaking of Kino, I just want to point out, Ronnie said that, because I haven't watched it yet, is that in the most recent Shelf Space YouTube live stream, Frank said things were moving forward. So he did say that there was progressing. That was the last one that I watched. I know he just dropped one today or yesterday. And
He just sent an email today saying one is coming soon. That's not the newest one.
Oh, okay. So the one from before,
from like 3 or 4 weeks ago,
is the last one.
Yes.
He did say this. The Lost in Translation stuff dropped after that video. So I don't. Again, Ryan, I appreciate that. I just don't know of the chicken or the egg. Which one's? Wait, this is great as a fan. So somebody was trying to get a title out. I get that, dude, McMahon. My only gripe is that, like, and to play devil's advocate for you, is that I don't want people getting their hopes up and then just being like, damn it, like, you told me you're going to put it out and now it's not happening. And if people weren't complaining before, they're going to complain now.
Kino, this one we had announced as coming soon at some point. They are now revealing that December 17th we'll see the 4K release of Snake Eyes. This is the Nicolas Cage film that a lot of people hate.
Let's look at those special features, Ryan. Let's zoom in on those. This is going to take a while to read these.
New audio commentary with Steve Mitchell and Nathaniel Thompson.
Okay, that's it. Okay, cool.
That's it. Yeah.
Animated menus?
Maybe. No, definitely not.
Did you see this movie?
I don't think I have.
I'm the Timu Will Dodson is what I am. Will.
Timu. Oh man, that's hilarious. I'm also a sucker for anything Cage, Z-Pam. Totally agree.
The first 20 minutes of this movie is great. That single shot is great. And it just spirals out of control like a Walmart dress. It just unravels. Like there's no connective tissue for me. I
love De Palma, so I know I'm going to like this one when I eventually see it.
Oh, wait, you've never seen it?
I don't think I have.
I'll tell you off camera. I have a weird sordid history of this movie, but anyway.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right.
That's the PayPal or the pay-per-view. You have to pay for that information.
All right. More Kino. Monty Walsh from 1970 is coming on Blu-ray on December 17th. We get a new audio commentary by the Lee Marvin biographer Dwayne Epstein. And I gotta point out, somebody on Facebook when I posted this commented and said, "New audio commentary by Lee Marvin. What the hell? They literally were so lazy they didn't finish reading the line."
This is a dead body being brought out.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Not much to say. Bo Hopkins also in this. Jack Palance.
I mean, I like Lee Marvin. I'm just not a big Western person, and I've already said that before. So,
Brian says this movie is not good, and Will says, but Monty Walsh is better than Snake Eyes.
Yeah, clear you can see from the post. I did like it, but that's only because I support Ryan. I'm not a Western fan.
More Kino. The Beast Within from 1982 is coming as number 22 on the Kino cult line.
Mm-hmm.
This has a total of no new special features. But the big thing that a lot of people are going to appreciate, the Scream Factory release of this did not have any subtitles, and this release will. For many people, that is reason enough to upgrade. But for many others, the Kino cult line seemed to be a line that they wanted to get more out of. But it seems like a lot of them are just turning into reprints of stuff that recently went out of print, which I'm not against those titles coming back into print, obviously. I was, you're making this line special, and a lot of the earlier titles they announced on it were like loaded with special features.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have that continue on that line. That's all I'm going to say. It
feels like some other lines that aren't necessarily what they claim to be. You know what I mean? It just
I do.
Like, and I looked into this movie and it looks like it's up my alley. I like that type of the beast, the monster thing is kind of like an allegory for something. And it does star Ronnie Cox, the biggest douchebag from RoboCop. So
it's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's going to be $10 on a sale or something. I'll pick it up.
All right, next one from them, December 10th. They are putting out Rhythm Thief from 1994. This one says, winner of the Best Director Prize at the 95 Sundance Film Festival, Best Dramatic Feature at South by Southwest. Rhythm Thief has been restored in 4K to its gritty black and white glory from the 16mm camera negatives. Jason Andrews is Simon, a New York City bootlegger who sells stolen music on the streets of Manhattan's Lower East Side. Ludlow Street chick Sid, who has a real job, meets Simon on weekday mornings for sex. Life is good for Simon until the day he rips off 1-900-BOXX, a militant all-girl punk band fronted by real-life rocker Cynthia Slay of the Bush Tetras. The band comes after Simon, trounces his would-be sidekick Fuller, and ultimately hounds him out of the city with Marty, a girl from his past, in tow. After a period of exile in Far Rockaway, Simon is drawn back to the neighborhood for a final showdown. This gets an audio commentary by the director, deleted scenes, making of doc, outtakes, and some pre-production footage.
This cover art is just boggling my mind because it's a black and white film with a color cover that looks like it's like advertising a stage play on Broadway.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like that looks like a young Skeet Ulrich and a young Reese Witherspoon.
I definitely see Reese. Skeet, maybe not as much, but okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. None of what you just read screams anything like this. Cover doesn't scream anything of that.
Either way, it sounds fun.
Yeah,
Glad this is getting released. Glad Kino is doing some of the indie gems from the 90s lately. That is not something that a lot of other labels are focusing on, so good on them. We are getting a Sony release of The Blood Ship way back from 1927. This is coming on December 3rd. And I am so surprised that Sony has put so much into these super old titles over the last few months. I'm glad they keep coming.
It's just so over the place because I'm just like, all right, Sony, like, what's your rhyme or reason to it? It's like,
right,
Steelbook 4K, random movie, The Blood Ship.
Oh, man.
Like,
if they start doing Steelbook 4Ks of The Blood Ship from 27,
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
we got other problems.
Like, who wants to walk blindfolded into our archives? Let's spin them around 3 times, send them down the aisle, and whatever your finger lands on, we're going to restore.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Filmmasters putting out Salt of the Earth from 1954. This is coming as part of their limited edition line, which means it will have the full-color inserted booklet with an essay, as well as a commentary. And these are pressed, by the way. The commentary in this one is by C. Courtney Joyner, Mark Legan, and Fef Sutton. This sounds really great. Salt of the Earth centers on a long, difficult worker strike against a mining company in New Mexico. Ramon Quintero fights for equity of wages as well as health and safety issues, but at home he mistreats his wife, Esperanza. When the men are forced to end their picketing, Esperanza joins the other women who demand to play a role in the strike against their husbands' wishes. Written, directed, and produced by members of the original blacklisted Hollywood 10. This is the type of like anarchy film that I'm dying to see. This sounds freaking great.
I read up on this, and it's absolutely something I'd be intrigued by, especially the fact that it was something that got blacklisted, because of that horrible time in our country's history. Yeah, no, absolutely. The reviews have been through the roof that I read.
Nice. Next from that same limited edition line is Ginger in the Morning from 1974. This one is with Susan Oliver and Sissy Spacek, even as Fred Ward and Slim Pickens in this one. This is one that I've never seen, but gotta love Sissy Spacek for sure.
Doesn't get enough love. Really doesn't. I just looked it up recently. I've never seen it, but it's one of those Sissy Spacek films that I'm just not familiar. I'm wondering what year is this?
74.
So this is just around Carrie. Carrie's 75.
Yep.
So it's around that time. Okay. Hey, wave.
Then we got some imprint announcements. All of these are coming on January 8th. All of them are Blu-ray titles. First one is Walk Like a Dragon from 1960. This one will have a new audio commentary by Toby Rohn, Academy Museum of Motion Pictures Q&A with Nancy Kwan, and some trailers. Not much to say about this one. Again, not my style of film, but glad it's getting out there. The big thing is this is a brand new 4K scan, which because they're advertising that, I'm glad that it's coming out. It's not something that Imprint gets to say all too often.
Yeah. Which studio put this out? This is Paramount?
I
Yeah.
think so. Probably they've been
It's
doing
on the disc.
a
It
lot of.
looks like Paramount at the very bottom of the
Oh,
disc.
yep.
Yeah.
Very, very clear there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk
That,
like a
that
dragon.
leads me to believe that possibly that this looks like a Kino title.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I just feel like this is gonna eventually pop up in the. This is. I don't know what that means, Will.
I don't know that
what
Will
that
knows
means.
either. Terry says, curious that they are not putting a number of those limited editions from Filmmasters. Definitely interested in both in the next that is being teased on the website. Yeah, as soon as I get a date on that last one, I will be putting that one up as well, because we did talk about that one a couple months ago, but it's still in like the coming soon, and I think it's supposed to be spring of next year. Tony says it's a first that there will be no titles from Imprint to be released in December. Oh, that's true. Interesting. I bet that is to make up for some of the delays that have happened over the last couple of months.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't even know. It's like every now and again it'll be like 2 a.m. after the chat, and they'll drop it.
Yep, perfect timing for me. We got a couple more from them. One is a box set. We got a Film Focus Marlon Brando Volume 2. This is from 1969 to 1989. Hell of a jump listed here. 69 is The Night of the Following Day. Then we got The Nightcomers from 1971. Last Tango in Paris from 72. The Missouri Breaks from 76. And then jump all the way up to A Dry White Season from 89. Plus, we got a bonus disc, Listen to Me, Marlon, from 2015. Lots of special features in here. We got new commentary by Tim Lucas on The Night of the Following Day. We've got archival commentary and some feature docs. We've got a new commentary by Elaine Silver and Jim Orsini on The Nightcomers, plus a visual essay by Kat Ellinger and an interview feature with the production crew. Last Tango in Paris gets a new interview with film critic Piero Spila, new interview with the editor Roberto Perpignani, new interview with the camera assistant Mauro Marchetti, and then some previously unseen video interviews. And the next one, Missouri Breaks, gets a new commentary by Lee Pfeiffer, Tony Latino, and Paul Scrabo. New interview with film professor Lucy Bolton. And finally, A Dry White Season gets a new interview with both Janet Sussman and Susanna Harker. If you got the first one, obviously this is a great companion with it.
This is a great collection of films here, Ryan. This is really, really something here. Yes, you were there. These are some of my finest works. Do you collect the after box sets there, Ryan?
I don't. I think I have one, and then I went, probably don't have to have all of them.
Yes. All right.
See, here's the thing. They always get me wanting it because the last one, the Polanski set and this, have the documentaries that have not been available. And that's all I want.
True.
I want the Polanski Wanted and Desired, and then the Listen to Me Marlon doc. Those are the only two things I want.
I totally get that.
Humboldt, I will pull out the Brando impersonation anytime you want me to. Any single time. Yeah.
Well, let's hear a impersonation of Burt Reynolds then.
I have no impersonation because I don't watch a lot of Burt Reynolds. It's funny because I saw that I was like, I realized I don't really like Burt Reynolds.
I get that. I fully get that.
Like I watched Boogie Nights, and it's probably the only Burt Reynolds movie I used to watch Cuffs as a kid because it was like one of those movies that came out when I was a kid. But Burt Reynolds always plays Burt Reynolds. Is it
right?
No, Stan, you don't get it.
The next one is a Film Focus Burt Reynolds box set. This was teased late last year. Again, coming in January. This one will have White Lightning from 73, Hustle from 75, Gator from 76, limited edition 4-disc hard box with new special features for every film, plus the acclaimed 2020 feature documentary, I Am Burt Reynolds.
So Burt Reynolds, the box set, the previous Burt Reynolds box set was Umbrella, right?
Yes, Box of Burt. Yes,
Box of Burt. Okay. I always get Imprint and Umbrella mixed up with each
a
other.
lot of people do.
Aussie, they're two Aussie labels, but I'm just, for whatever reason, I think their title choices cross each other a lot. But with the Burt thing, yeah, no way. I have seen Deliverance. I do watch Deliverance. It's just it's his personality. He never doesn't play Burt, and it's
Right.
from what I've heard, like read stories, he's just not a nice person, or he wasn't a nice person really. So it's like you gotta either like the personality or you're not gonna watch his movies.
On these, like it said, brand new special features on all the films, new commentary on White Lightning by Travis Woods, new interview with the writer Wayne Byrne on the disc as well. Then on Hustle, we got a new commentary by Daniel Kramer, new visual essay by Blake Howard, and finally on Gator, new commentary by Patrick Bromley, and then a new interview with Wayne Byrne again on this one, plus that bonus disc, the I Am Burt Reynolds documentary. That one's we've got a new interview with the director there as well.
I tell you, physical docs don't get enough physical releases. So it's like if you put that on there, people just go buy it for that. I always look at it.
Gary says he mixed up Imprint and Indicator. I could see that because the names sounded similar.
Yeah. I get Indicator. Sometimes I definitely get Eureka and BFI mixed up with each other.
The elite British companies.
Yes.
Somebody's putting it out. Who knows?
Exactly.
And if that is not enough, Imprint was not done. They are also putting out a blaxploitation box set. This from 1972 and 73, proving it was a very limited period of time that they were making these that were classic. We've got on this one The Legend of Black Charlie, The Soul of Black Charlie, Superfly TNT, and Detroit 9000. Limited 4-disc hardbox, 1,500 copies. Legend of Black Charlie. This is the first time it's on Blu-ray anywhere. New audio commentary by Mike Sargent on this one. New interview with Josiah Howard, who is an author. And then on The Soul of Black Charlie, also the first time on Blue. New audio commentary by Mike Sargent again. Superfly, worldwide first on Blue. New audio commentary by Brian Reisman on this one. More features are coming on that. And then Detroit 9000, also worldwide first on Blue. That's a big deal for this whole box set. New commentary by Michael Coven, author of Blaxploitation Films. New interview with Yvonne D. Sims, author of Women of Blaxploitation. This box set is the most intriguing of the month for me.
I feel like that's going to sell the most. True. I think that'll sell the most. Every time I see the title Superfly TNT, all I think is Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Every time my fingers touch skull, they become Superfly TNT. They're the guns of the Navarone. But well, let's see.
This is a great looking box set. I'm very excited that they're putting this out. I am not excited over all the weirdos that are arguing about the slight change in the titles. And if you know what they originally were, you know why that's weird. But yeah, we should probably keep going.
Purists. Was it 88 Films? Were they arguing it over?
I will go ahead.
Did Wicked Vision ever finish their blaxploitation set? Because I know they had the box, and they were slowly rolling out titles to fill the box.
I think there's still a couple to come, but those are still coming as far as I'm aware.
Okay, just curious.
All right, back to the title we teased earlier. Babe Pig in the City, coming with a brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master, and Will likes it so much he announced release announcement of the year twice, and got many likes on both comments. So I'm so glad that Will is getting this title. Again, great movie, looks great. George Miller, masterpiece. This is exciting. I'm glad this is coming out as long as it comes out.
140 Jess Franco titles, and then Babe Pig in the City.
On 4K.
I wanted to just slip it between the Jess Franco titles, so when someone's going through it, and they're like, wait, what?
It's just a whole bunch of babes. I get it.
Yeah. Find some Jess Franco title that says Babe, because I guarantee there's one. And it's just right that says Babe Pig in the City. Just see what happens.
All right, going to the next one. A movie I had never heard of. November 5th, Blu-ray release from Universal called Genie from 2023. This is starring Melissa McCarthy. And this is from Richard Curtis. I had no idea about this.
I mean, Richard Curtis is a selling point, but it's in New York. A Richard Curtis movie in New York with No, I mean maybe the guy's British. I know Melissa McCarthy is not British. This looks like a
Based on his
Hallmark
name,
movie.
probably.
This looks like a Hallmark movie.
Oh, it definitely does. Oh, Ronnie says it was a Peacock original movie.
Okay.
So does Tony. I had no idea. Thanks, guys.
Well, according to this angle of the city, they are either in New Jersey, really North New Jersey, or like they are right across the street in Queens. I don't know. I'm just looking at the Empire State Building and looking where we're positioned. I'm pretty sure they're in New Jersey. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, next November 19th. This is the next Sony title. You Can't Run Away with It from 1956. Heads up, this was released in the Columbia Classics Volume 3. It was on the It Happened One Night disc as like a special feature, and now it's getting a standalone release. So I'm glad it will not be stuck in that box set for a lot of people.
All right, Bob, spin around. All right, just watch your way down the aisle and just pick a reel.
Humboldt Horror Honey says, not movie related, but make sure to peek your head out tonight to see the moon. Hunter's Moon. Beautiful for spooky season.
That's
nice.
right. That's why everyone's getting headaches.
Funny enough, last night my kid looked up and said, why is the moon so bright?
Hey, what'd you tell him?
Because it's a Wednesday. And now he thinks every Wednesday will be a bright moon, and that's funny.
There you go.
I'm just kidding. I just made that up. December 10th, we are getting a 4K steelbook of Stir of Echoes from Lionsgate. I think this is Kevin Bacon on the front.
It is Kevin Bacon. It's not Ewan McGregor. Why does everyone think it doesn't look like Kevin Bacon? It looks like Kevin Bacon.
Because it doesn't.
It really does. It looks like it's young Kevin Bacon. You're not used to young Kevin Bacon anymore.
Oh, I am. I just watched Tremors.
That's a different Kevin Bacon. That's long
right.
Bacon.
This is Kevin Bacon that doesn't exist.
This is this is late 90s Kevin Bacon.
Anyways,
specific look.
This has a new 4K restoration of the film. It's got Dolby Vision and HDR. We've got revisiting Stir of Echoes featurette on this and a new establishing shot with Fred Murphy, plus some legacy supplemental features like an audio commentary featurettes and more. The hard part, I've had a lot of people ask, it does look like, again, that this will possibly not get a standard release. This is potentially the only release of this film on 4K, which, if you love the movie, you might want it.
As long as it's not limited edition. As long as it's not limiting I'll buy a steelbook.
It's Lionsgate, and they don't normally announce it like that, but a lot of their steels have gone out of print, so...
I love Stir of Echoes. I thought it was great. You know, it kind of got overlooked at the time because it was like The Sixth Sense, I think, had just come out right before it. But it's a good movie. And
it is a good movie.
It was one of the first Blu-rays, I think. It was like that really like reflective silvery was it Buena Vista? Or it was Lionsgate. It was the ones that maybe stopped working sometimes.
Yep.
Because they were printed in that place in Mexico where the glue wasn't good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next,
thank you.
Crush.
Crush is getting out. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Because the shadowing.
Yeah, he says the shadowing is what gives me doubt that it is Kevin Bacon. It's the cheekbones. It looks like Kevin Bacon. I don't know. Anyway, it's AI Kevin Bacon. I don't know.
Literally, yes. December 3rd, we are getting Crush from Sony Pictures as part of their Sony Pictures Classics line. This is from 2001. Never saw this one. I've heard it's a good movie.
I have to admit, of course, when you go to the Blu-ray.com page for like news, and I saw Crush, I immediately was like, is it a 4K the Alicia Silverstone movie? And it's not.
It would be nice.
I will say though, in this photo, I can finally see how much Margaret Qualley looks like her mom.
Yeah,
I can now finally see it. Before I was like, I don't see it. They don't look like.
Got to de-age her a bit.
Yeah.
Scarecrow Video put out an update recently. It's been a couple of months since the last one, so wanted to share. They were doing a $75,000 match challenge, and that was met. And that means overall they have more than passed their $600,000 mark so far, which is pretty great. Mm-hmm. It's a third of the way to their goal. Because they have met so much of this so far, they have been able to sign a lease at their location and be extending that for at least 2 more years. They are now exploring some options that they need to fill, like 2 executive leadership positions. There is also been a huge increase in rental and sales revenue. Everybody has seen this and started supporting them, which is exactly what everybody wanted them to do. So please, if you're ever somebody that's supported Scarecrow, continue to do that. If there is something that you would like to or have no idea about Scarecrow, I've got multiple videos with them. Please go back and check it out. There's so much that you can do living anywhere in the U.S. Lots of different ways to support them. One of the ways is by sharing all their social media stuff and engaging with what they have going on. And funny enough, it's a big week for them because this weekend is Video Store Day. That is their busiest day every year. It is this Saturday. They're going to be doing some live streams on their YouTube from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific. And you can join on the YouTube channel, and they're going to be hosted by the Viva Physical Media people. So check it out. It's got a long episode coming. It's going to be a good time.
That's great. I'm so glad they reached their goal. And I would be hoping that there should be some type of petition or looking into landmarking their store. I don't know if there's a certain amount of time it has to be there, but like, I don't know why they couldn't. There's enough places in New York that have landmark status. I'm like, really? Okay.
That's yeah. I would think so. At that point,
I feel they are also a very well-known staple. It's how long have they been around in the business?
Since 86 or 7. I never get the first year right.
All right, 86. I mean, they got to be. I'd have to look into like what the threshold is to be considered a landmark. But
well, and there should almost be something specific for video stores. There weren't video stores ever before that. Come on.
Right. No.
Anyways, that's Scarecrow. Check out their live stream on Saturday. Terrifier. We're gonna be talking about Terrifier many, many times tonight. You look so gleeful. Terrifier 3 is getting a 4K Steelbook and standard Blu-ray, DVD, all of the releases on December 17th. This does look to be the final art on the Steelbook. This is the US release of this, and it's coming from Cinedigm. No idea on special features yet. If the first 2 releases are any indication, there should be some for sure. I bet there'll be a Damien Leone commentary on this and potentially some more.
It's terrible. I will say that it's terrible.
How do you have a movie set at Christmas and you have nothing Christmas related or any colors on the Steelbook?
I can't even see his freaking face on the front. It looks like Logan.
It does.
What? There's so many things you could have. You could have him with the Santa suit, the chainsaw, like anything. Like
there's a lot of iconic posters for this, and they used 0 of them.
We're gonna get to the one that's the one you should order.
Yep. Dune Part 2 is getting another 4K Steelbook release. This is coming on November 19th to Walmart only, Walmart exclusive. I'm not sure if it's still sold out, but this had sold out like a couple hours after posting this.
Oh, so, did really?
Yeah.
People with the Dune Steelbook. Look, I'm put them both in a damn Steelbook, then I'll get it. But there's gonna be a third one. People.
If there's a third one, yeah, just wait and they'll put all of them in there. Come on.
I will not wait until it's all done.
Another recent film, The Wild Robot, is getting a 4K Blu-ray and DVD release from Universal in the States on December 3rd. This is going to have a alternate opening, some storyboards, some featurettes, deleted sequences, all that type of stuff. You can check this out now. It is not going to be released in 3D in the States. I've had a lot of people ask about that. There's no more 3D releases in the States unless it's coming from the 3D Film Archive. Yeah. So anything like that, let's not count on them to be releasing those. What is funny, though, is if you look on the back, it does say that there's a feature commentary on this disc, and their press release does not list one. Will it have one? I'm not sure, but...
Or it's only on the digital.
Yeah, it could only be on the digital. That's true.
This is what's annoying. I heard this was a great movie.
Me too.
And I wanted to see it. It was on my monthly list of movies to see. They only were showing it in the afternoon, under the assumption that only kids want to see this. And I see movies after work, and I'm like, what? why you're always striving for this 4-quadrant type of movie, and this movie's obviously getting good reviews, and you're not going to make it available for people who want to see it at a later hour because you consider it just a kids movie. Then
This is a weird aside, so everybody watching live, just ignore me for just a moment. Something that's been annoying me recently, runtime, or not runtime, showing times. What time do theaters first start showing films in New York? Just so I can be jealous.
Maybe 10 a.m. is like the earliest, like 10:15.
Is that throughout the entire week, or is that only on the weekends?
I think no, on the weekdays. Like, I mean, I can tell you right now, I can go like pick a movie. Like I'd say, if it's a big movie, like a movie comes out, like Star Wars, like Force Awakens came out, and they were playing round the clock to accommodate everybody. Not saying it was good, but I'm just saying that's what happened. So as an example, like We Live in Time, starting showtime is 10:15 a.m. That's the first showing.
I am so jealous.
Why?
So this week I've been off work, and I've had the opportunity to maybe go to the theater more, and I could take my wife, and we've got the AMC, whatever it's called, just like you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, showtimes here don't start during the week until after 1 p.m. in Kansas City. And I think the earliest one that we've had was like 12:30. And that was like the farthest theater away. And I know I just mentioned AMC. It's not. We checked all of the chains. I would have paid for another one if I had the opportunity to go to another one. But we wanted to go see stuff while the kids were in school.
Yeah,
I can't go if it starts even at 12:30 because we're not going to be home by the time we need to go pick them up. It's such a waste. Anyways, long rant. I'm sorry.
No, it's a reasonable rant because and again, they're complaining about people not going back to the movies. It's like, well, you have to accommodate people. And I get, like, yes, you have to have someone hit the play button on the projector, but like some people do just go see. I remember going to see movies at like 9 a.m. sometimes back when they were doing it more. I think since the pandemic, it has slowed down because there used to be an 8 a.m. or a 9 a.m. show, like an early bird showing. And they would be like a lot of older folks going at that hour, granted they would fall asleep in their chairs, but like they existed. And that's the thing is like, I go to see a 10:30 show at night because I pray all the time to the cinema gods that like no one's going to be in the theater because I just don't like sitting around with people because I know they're going to take their phones out, and they do.
Danny, who is in Australia, says, here in Australia, my local cinema only played The Substance at 3 p.m. Had to take a half day off work just to watch it. Jesus.
It's crazy. It really is. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like, why are you not accommodating? Like, try it, and then if it fails, like, all right, we got to pull back a little bit. But it's like there's almost like no opportunities. Some films only play at 42nd Street, and it's like no one wants to go to the 42nd Street Theater. I know you think like everyone wants to go to Times Square. No one wants to go to Times Square. People who live in New York do not want to go to Times Square. It's terrible.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like it's the most rowdy theater. Like I have no desire. Like even my theater gets pretty, crazy during the weekends. It's like, oh, this is like it's like Black Friday shopping at a theater. That's what it feels like. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, dude. How much do your tickets cost?
Let's see. At a good AMC, like Saturday early afternoon, not even like prime time, like 7 p.m. AMC Laser Vision, whatever they call it, like $22.
Okay, so it's about the same. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, IMAX here is like $30. Thankfully, it's covered under AMC A-list, but.
Right. That's the only reason we had it. And we only got it because this is such a silly story because of the double feature. We wanted to go see Twisters and Longlegs. And I looked at it and I said, if I just go to both of them, that cost more than both of us subscribing for a month.
Yeah.
Why would we not do that?
Right. There's no reason to not subscribe to AMC A-list. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to tout for like AMC A-list, but like it's they stars already, so that's nice. I mean, LA and New York, that's like these are the two places where like we get the movies come out in October, November, December and don't launch wide until January, but we get the to contend for Oscars. But yeah, it's like just going to one movie, even if I just go to one movie, or go to one IMAX movie, I paid for my month. That's it. And saved $4.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah. I see
Anyways.
on average 6 to 8 movies a month.
That was a long rant. Thank you for appeasing me.
Yeah, of course. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna have my own ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
We're gonna have like a pull all of the visuals out and just have a long rant in just a minute.
Yes.
December 17th, Blu-ray from Kino of The Beloved Rogue from 1927, a John Barrymore title. I love this line. John Barrymore sought to out-swashbuckle Douglas Fairbanks in his breathless depiction of France's rapscallion poet, thief, and vagabond. Looks good. Got a commentary by Anthony Slide on this. Filmed introduction by Orson Welles. Glad we're getting some of these Library of Congress titles. Kino does a lot of good stuff.
Is it silent?
From that year, it should be.
Yeah, it says orchestral score by, I'm assuming, because they're touting the orchestral score by Robert.
Yeah, 1927.
Yeah, it's silent. With that cheap blush, that's silent.
That is the epitome of silent.
Yeah.
Gary says he paid $21.19 for a Thursday morning matinee at AMC. That was Dolby Cinema. Yeah, prices.
Dolby's going to be, yeah.
Another Kino, December 17th, Blu-ray of The Claim from 2000. This is with Wes Bentley, Mila Jovovich, Nastasia Kinski, Peter Milan, and Sarah Polley. Hell of a late 90s, early 2000s cast here.
Mm-hmm.
We got an audio commentary by the one and only Scout Tafoya on this one.
I was trying to think today of like who the director is. I kept saying why it was Anton Egon. I was like, no, it's not Anton. It's Michael Winterbottom. Okay.
Looks like a nice, solid release of this one.
I have this. You were talking with, I think you were talking with someone about this a couple weeks ago when it was not detailed yet, and you're like, I have never heard of this film at all.
Nope.
And I have the score to this film.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice. All right. Next one, another Blu-ray release coming from the Kino Cult line, and that is Blood and Lace from 1971. This is going to be number 23 in that line. Commentary by Harlan Smith and alt opening titles on this one as well. I don't think those extras are new. I think they were on the Scream Factory release, and this one did have subtitles, I believe. So this is literally essentially just like repressing the disc, which, again, great, but feels a little odd for the Kino Cult line.
Raise your hand if you used to always think that Blood and Lace and Blood and Black Lace were the same movie. You got confused all the time.
Quite different, thankfully.
Yes. But I always got them mixed up, and I see like, oh, this is Blood and Lace. Okay, this one. Yeah, I've seen Blood and Black Lace. I've not seen Blood and Lace. But I'm glad that and it's probably going to be a lot more affordable than Scream Factory.
Oh, much more affordable, especially now that Scream has been out of print.
We're kind of like, we're skipping the actual thing that we should be talking about is the fact that this is going to be 1,000,000 times cheaper than any Scream Factory release.
And even worse, again, since it went out of print. Yeah, it'll be
with a slip.
That's true.
Like, how much do you think this would have cost originally on Scream, or do you recall? It wasn't.
It was probably like $22 on release. So, or no, actually, this came out so long ago. It was probably only like 18 or 19.
Really? Okay.
Because this came out, I think the original release was like 2014. This is an old one.
And it wasn't a site exclusive?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that this is going to be like $10 on a sale.
On sale quickly, yeah.
Yeah. That's nice stuff.
Next one, Robert Duvall and Laura Dern in Rambling Rose, coming on December 10th from Kino. When you look at this and we talked earlier about, hey, that's an imprint title that looks like a Kino. That's because this is the exact same thing. Imprint has released many things, and then Kino's releasing them later, just like they are for this one. Mm-hmm. All of the features on this were on the imprint release. This should be much cheaper for you to be able to purchase if you're in the US. I'm sure when this comes out, it'll be like $15, $16, especially if you go somewhere like Atomic. You can probably pre-order this for $16.49, and it'll be a great release. Laura Dern's amazing. Robert Duvall's amazing, obviously.
Is this Paramount as well?
I believe it is, yeah.
There you go. They both have big contracts with Paramount.
Absolutely. A lot of people do. I feel like a lot of when was that? Like 4 weeks ago now, we heard that there was somebody that came in and Paramount's home video division was getting shaken up a little bit. I have a feeling that it's probably going to get shaken up a lot worse than that. They're probably going to let go of a lot of people, and I feel like the licensing is going to be the biggest thing from Paramount moving forward, which honestly, not a bad thing. If we get good boutiques to license some of the bigger Paramount titles, you could do pretty great.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, there's some stuff because Paramount got bought up by, what's the name of the company again?
I don't remember. I
Skydance?
tried.
It's not Skydance. It's not Skydance.
Skydance.
Is it
Yep.
Skydance?
Yep.
Okay, the guy's son, the billionaire, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew it started with an S, but that's all I had.
When it's young blood like that, that worries me because I feel like their whole mind is set on streaming and digital. How can we get this micro entertainment? Like, oh, like we can charge by the hour for the movie or something. Like they can find ways of really nickel and diming people as opposed to like,
right.
He doesn't strike me as the type that's going to be like, why don't we give people physical media?
All right, going to our next one. Kensuke's Kingdom. This is coming on November 11th on Blu-ray in the UK from Modern Films Entertainment. Normally would probably not have given this a ton of thought. However, this has a huge cast and supposedly is really great. This one has Sally Hawkins, Cillian Murphy, Raffi Cassidy, Aaron McGregor, Ken Watanabe. This looks like a solid film. It sounds really good. Based on the much-loved best-selling children's novel by Michael Morpurgo and adapted for screen by Frank Cottrell-Boyce, Kensuke's Kingdom tells of the epic adventure of Michael, a young boy shipwrecked on a remote island who must adapt to life alone. Over time, he feels another presence, learning that this world is home to both unimaginable danger and beauty. In this gripping animated adaptation of that novel, Kensuke's Kingdom's illustrious voice cast includes everybody that I mentioned. Looks good.
I definitely. It reminds me, the animated style reminds me of Prince of Egypt.
Same
with the color scheme. Yeah, actually, also reminds me, if anyone is around the same age as me and remembers this. Do you remember Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Of course, not Legends of watch it.
Sorry. No, sorry. I'm thinking the wrong thing. No, The Lost Cities of Gold. Do you remember that anime show?
No.
Anyone who remembers if they watched Nickelodeon, there is The Lost Cities of Gold, and there was Esteban, and there was it was basically they flew in this giant golden hawk ship, flying around. It was 3 kids and these 2 Spanish pirates searching for the lost city of gold, and like they're like solving puzzles along the way and stuff like that. It was Thank you, Ryan. You remembered? Yes, classic Nick. Yes, and it was just like the weirdest show ever. But my really good friend Matt, he had the DVDs, and like we just bonded. Like, oh my god, you know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Well, as much as we're all bonding over the happiness that is Kensuke's Kingdom, I think we're about to bond over something much worse.
Give me a second. I got to get some heartburn medication for this. I scarfed some food right before the show, so I'm like preparing for this because I'm gonna be talking a lot.
All right. I'm gonna start reading because we have to read all of this gobbledygook first. Unobstructed View. This is a company out of Canada that has done physical media for years. They are, I've kind of equated them as the Diabolic DVD of Canada. They release their own stuff sometimes, but they primarily are like a retail store for a lot of people. They are the ones that got the rights to Caligula, the Ultimate Cut. They bought them from Drafthouse Films, and they are doing the release for all of North America. And they put out this press release. Now, keep in mind, this press release was released on Diabolic DVD because Diabolic DVD was the exclusive retailer for the U.S. And this was posted by Jesse from the Unobstructed View team. It says, to the Diabolic DVD community, as president and owner of Unobstructed View, I feel the time is right to address the concerns and complaints to Diabolic DVD regarding the provenance of our edit of the original version of Caligula on our release of Caligula, the Ultimate Cut on Blu-ray, and the upcoming 4K limited edition. Many of you inferred from our promotional material that we would be providing an uncut version of the film as a bonus feature. While we have a legitimate... Man, I still can't believe this. Okay.
I know.
While we have a...
Go. You got to just run through it because otherwise I'm going to start punching my computer.
Right. There's so much that we're going to have to touch on after this.
I
While we have
I copy and pasted and bolded the little moments that we can talk about.
While we have a legitimate theatrical cut of the original, nowhere in our descriptions did we imply that ours was uncut. However, we do apologize for the confusion, and we will amend our digital metadata to include the running time of the original feature. On that note, I would like to take a minute to talk about what we felt we achieved here in conjunction with Giant and Drafthouse, specifically with regard to the 4K limited edition coming at the end of the month. After over 30 years in the business, mostly in Canada, this is our first venture into 4K, and we are proud of what we are offering. In the middle of working on their theatrical release last spring, Giant took it upon themselves to source, in the absence of any available film stock at Penthouse, a print of the original from a Boston distributor that played in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts during the film's original run, as the markings on the canisters would indicate. Those who go back that far might remember that community standards in that state back in the day were a little more puritanical, so to speak. They then went on to restore the print to 4K at great expense for its singular use as a bonus feature for this release. I think we can all agree that short is the list of studios that would go to the trouble of restoring a full-length feature for a very limited release. Continuing on, further to that, those concerned about the edited scenes can take comfort in the fact that the project was bounced out of 2 4K manufacturing facilities for offensive content. Ergo, the postponed release date. To that point, some of those deletes can be seen in the accompanying featurette. One thing is for certain, after this initial run is gone, our version of the original will never appear on 4K again. Finally, if we pull back to a wider view, there is a tremendous value proposition in the 4-disc set featuring an incredible slipcover and individual numbering in Roman numerals. It provides tremendous background material to support the film that is on the cover of this sleeve, Caligula, the Ultimate Cut. There's enough exclusive content, including an invaluable contribution from the producer, Thomas Nagovin, to give cinephiles an insightful look into the creative process that led to this landmark release. One reviewer mentioned that our edit of the original is a better guide track than longer versions because it begins the process of reconstituting the film. Whatever, you might have different opinions. In closing, we hope you will purchase Caligula the Ultimate Cut from our friends at Diabolic DVD, and we will remember your attention to detail on our next project. Sincerely, Jonathan Gross. Emphasis on the word gross there at the end is all mine.
Who wrote this? J.D. Vance? Like, this was written by someone who, like, doesn't understand words and, like, how to talk to people. Oh, my God.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit by a little bit. First of all, many of you inferred from our promotional material that we would be providing an uncut version of the film as a bonus feature. I don't think anybody inferred anything when it was literally stated.
Can we go to articles A and B that I brought up for you, Ryan?
Let me see if I can pull them up.
Because I was under the impression that's what was happening because I remember reading it and I was like, I'm not imagining things.
I don't know how this is going to show up. Let me see.
If it doesn't, it's fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's so good. I'll just tell people what I found.
I'm going to try to make it work. I promise.
Oh, Wave, trust me, we will.
Never mind. Okay.
I also think AI wrote this, possibly.
Really, I've not heard that guess yet.
I mean,
so yeah, it's not going to work out. But literally, in their original press release that was sent to Blu-ray.com and everybody, it does say, Disc 2 4K Blu-ray uncut version, Caligula the uncut version SDR, featuring restored original theatrical trailer SDR. Feature English closed captions. That was the big press release for the second 4K disc.
And it was sent twice. It was posted twice for the first announcement and then updated. Both times, same thing.
I don't understand how you do this when you have literally got a press release saying the word uncut multiple times.
So I do love that it says, while we have a legitimate theatrical cut of the original, nowhere in the description do we imply that ours was uncut. This is what I like to call the Obi-Wan. It's like from a certain point of view, because it came out in Italy in 1979, was shipped to the US, got in trouble, and was then cut and then banned. So the edited version is not the original, it's an edited cut.
Right.
So it's not the original. Which I actually looked up. I have this. I didn't tell you about this. So I looked it up that after the censorship board got into it, they said in something of a twist, the censorship board insisted that the cuts be advertised. This was March of 1981. Registered subject to the special condition that all advertising clearly indicates that this film is a modified version.
Wow.
Yes. So, yes.
The next part of this, they go into saying, after 30 years in the business, mostly in Canada, this is our first 4K and we're proud of it. That's a really weird thing to include in this when you're talking about what everybody's complaining about. The other thing, they refer to Giant taking it upon themselves to source, in the absence of any other film stock at Penthouse, a print of the original from Boston. I don't know if anybody else has a different opinion in the chat. I'd be open to hearing it. Like, bragging that Giant helped you do something is not great. Giant does not have a great track record with a lot of stuff.
Now, I don't know. I'm not. You're more educated on Giant than I am. My biggest qualm is saying that. So, in the absence of a negative, so from Penthouse. So, I would love to know where Umbrella got theirs, because of the countries that banned Caligula, Australia was one of them.
Yep.
So I would like
and
to
so
know
was the UK, where it was also released by Arrow.
Yeah, so I would like to know where they got their cut, their print. And then saying that they got it from, and we'll move into it, but getting it from Boston and saying, if most of you remember, they were pretty I'm like, when you were in Canada? Like, don't talk about Boston when you're from Canada.
Boston in the 80s, mind you. He's not talking about the 1880s. He's talking about the 1980s.
Yeah, I mean, look, the U.S. is the U.S. Boston's not all of a sudden being like, we want a special cut of Caligula just for us Beantown people. You know, that's not the way things work. So,
right.
You know, just say, look, we got a canister and we fucked up and we thought it was the original, you know, uncut version. Just say that.
Their next bragging point is that no other studios would go through the trouble of restoring a full-length feature for a very limited edition. I mean, that's just not true. Yeah. Lots of other studios have done stuff like that. Lots of other boutiques, which you are kind of claiming to be, you would likely you would understand that a lot of people have done this.
And I will say this: let's just look. Whatever your business is, obviously running a business in this time is like, it is very difficult.
Yeah,
you know, well, I admit that. But from now on, don't say at great expense to us.
Right.
Because that's your product. If you don't spend the money, you don't have the goods that we pay for. So you made I don't like the way well, we don't know, Gary. We don't know. AI might be getting a little flippant now. They know they're getting big, you know, big for their britches. It's like, we're AI, we're here now. But yeah, let's don't like agree. I hate when studios are just like, you know, we did this for you. Like, no one asked you to do it.
Well, and that's where the second half of this goes way off the rails, because this gets so much worse. So the next thing, further to that, those concerned about the edited scenes can take comfort in the fact that the project was bounced out of 2 4K manufacturing facilities for offensive content. We are going to talk about some content being released tonight by Mondo Macabro on 4K that will prove there is no reason Caligula could not be released on 4K. Vinegar Syndrome has released multiple adult titles on 4K that are literally hardcore porn, just flat out saying what it is.
Now, to your point, before we move on, because this goes right into your point there, I did some more research about the Canadian law. And now it states here that the criminal code prohibits the production, distribution, and possession of obscene material. Obscene material is defined as any publication that exploits sex in an undue way or exploits sex in combination with crime, horror, cruelty, or violence. So because it is in fact pornography, it's not a movie. I mean, it is a movie, but the fact that it actually does have pornography in it might fall under the guidelines of we don't want to get legally sued by, the Canadian government for putting this out.
I'm not buying it.
I'm merely speculating, but I'm just saying that is a rule here, whereas all Mondo and Vinegar Syndrome are in the U.S. So
too true. Can't argue with that point. But what's funny is then they use that argument to throw in some FOMO and say one thing is for sure. After this initial run is gone, our version will never be on 4K again. Very clearly implying if you want this, you should buy it now because it's never coming back.
Well, that also gets me wondering. So, what's to stop someone else from just getting a theatrical cut and reprint? So that leads me to believe that they cut it a certain way, that they splice stuff out to satisfy the whoever the restoration house is in Canada. And said our specific, because they even said that one reviewer said our cut helps to, what was the exact phrase? One reviewer mentioned that our edit of the original is a better guide track than longer versions.
Right.
What do you mean our version? It's the theatrical, it's the censored. Now you're saying it's the censored US, UK cut, whatever you want to freaking call it. But that's just a cut. That cut exists. The studio can lease it out to anybody, and they can restore it to 4K. So the only way they're implying this will never be available again is to say we cut it a certain way, like Clean Flicks,
right?
And Paul, I'm just asking that question because that's the only way it reads. Otherwise, what do you mean it's never going to be available again? How can you say that?
Right. Let's go to the next part of this after their FOMO. Yeah. Then they say, if we pull back to a wider view, and this is where it gets really gross, pardon the pun there.
Pull back to a wider view. What, enhance. What are you talking about?
He says, there is a tremendous value proposition in this 4-disc set featuring an incredible slip with individual numbering in Roman numerals. So now we are being told to find value in Roman numerals.
XXX is the only one people want. If you're not getting number 30, no one's.
That's a good joke. But also, what? Roman numerals is a part of a value proposition? What are we saying here? Beyond that, let's see. There's enough exclusive content, including an invaluable contribution from the producer, to give cinephiles an insightful look into the creative process that led to this landmark release. What the hell? And then they follow this up by literally saying the word whatever. You might have different opinions.
This was written at 3 a.m. I don't know if they've been drinking. I don't know. Maybe they're high on maple syrup. I don't know. But I'm just saying this was look, first and foremost, don't attack Jesse because he has nothing to freaking do with this. If I were Jesse and I got this from them, I would have said no. I'm not posting this shit.
Right.
Edit it and make it sound nicer. Because I'm going to be the one that's going to be incurring all the wrath from this, not you. How many people do you think wrote Unobstructed Review directly, and how many people compared to how many people wrote to Jesse?
Jesse, yeah.
I would be furious. I'd be like, no. Why don't you go back, read that back over? Just because you made love to a thesaurus last night and are sort of trying to use big words. It doesn't even read like it reads like the robot they used to have see dirty things in the 90s. Boobs.
But like was said just a couple minutes ago by our friend Gary, I don't think AI would start a sentence with the word whatever. So this does feel like.
But then there's something the personality wise. Again, I don't know this person, so I'm merely speculating. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if this is your statement and you say what's that thing? As president and owner of Unobstructed Review, I feel the time is right to address the concern. The time is right. If we have now reached the right time, have you not taken the time to really formulate your words? Did you not go back over the team and like, hey guys, how does this sound? Like this was just one draft, done and done. Here you go, Jesse. Post this. No.
So, some important pieces of context that if you're not familiar with every part of the situation, you might not be aware of. One, the gentleman, Mr. Jonathan Gross at Unobstructed View, has also made some gross comments previously in his newsletter to people that have signed up with Unobstructed View. He is somebody that has claimed that the Oscars were woke. He has pushed back against diversity things in his newsletter. He's made some things about people being offended in his newsletter. He's that type of person responding to that. Take with that what you will. Not making any statements on any side of anything there. One more major thing, though. Found out through a source, and I hate doing this. I know that I've watched this on other channels that I've seen this. And
did this get the thumbs up?
I did get the thumbs up.
Okay. I don't even know this. I'm waiting. Okay.
So, as it turns out, they finally got Mr. Malcolm McDowell to sit down and watch the ultimate cut of this film, the brand new re-edited cut. And essentially he said, this is amazing. Like, this is the movie that we thought we were making back when. And I'm going to see if Helen will watch it. Helen Mirren went and watched it, and they both agreed, like, this is exactly what we wanted to make. And they had agreed to do television promotion for the ultimate cut of Caligula. They have agreed to be a part of the release as long as the uncut version was nowhere near the release. The people putting out this release said, no, we are putting the uncut version on there. We don't need Malcolm McDowell or Helen Mirren. And now Unobstructed View is fucked. And they don't have Malcolm McDowell, Helen Mirren, or the uncut version of the film on the disc. And they have royally screwed the pooch on this.
So who then does get the promotion then? Nobody, because Umbrella has
nobody's promoting it. Nobody's going on Jimmy Fallon to talk about Caligula the Ultimate Cut. But the joke is Malcolm McDowell might have done something like that if this had been done the right way.
Right.
But now, if you're looking to purchase this, the Umbrella release is clearly the way to go. It's got every cut under the sun, lots of special features, the same 4K disc that Unobstructed View has, and you're not supporting Unobstructed View.
However, as you've told me, and I've now read on many forums, that the audio is mixed up on the...
Right.
So there's that, waiting for the disc to be corrected. And I did see some poor soul who did get their box a little dinged up, or...
as it happens when it's coming from Australia sometimes.
Yeah. But again, like for $150, they should put some padding in there.
Well, and Umbrella is likely going to replace that disc with the corrected audio. I don't know how you screw up the audio on a film, especially. I understand like there being an error in authoring, but doing it where you have the entirely wrong track, that should literally not be possible. Makes zero sense.
Yeah. But yeah, of the two, I wish you could get that big chunky box directly from Orbit. I really do. It's the delivery. It's the and again, I'm sure it goes the other way. So Australia having stuff shipped to them from us.
Oh, I bet.
It's just as expensive. But this is like the one thing that really is just like every time I'm tempted to do anything with Umbrella, I'm like, I can't. And I know you say like, well, if you order, I'm completely out of frame at some point. Is that, if you order enough, it justifies the purchase. But that's a lot to justify. Like,
well, it's not as much if you do it in a way that makes sense. Like if you wait until there's a couple months in a row where there's pre-orders that you want, you can get. I don't remember if it's 150 US or 200 US gets free shipping.
Right.
It gets up there pretty quickly.
So as a side note, the Arrow, the out of print Arrow Blu-ray of Caligula, that's not uncut.
It is uncut, as far as I'm aware. It is the original theatrical version.
Oh, good, because I have that, and I've held on to it because that artwork was so nice on the front. That was like one of the first Arrows I bought.
Right. So that being said, after this long ass rant about this shitty response from this terrible company, as Craig in the chat will say, and I trust Craig's taste in a lot of things because we've liked a lot of the same films. He went and saw the brand new Ultimate Cut in the theater and said it's an incredible film, different night and day, looks great. If you are interested in this, it is absolutely worth seeking out. I'm not going to tell you, one way or the other what you should do or have to do, but if it was me, I would personally be going to Umbrella in a heartbeat for this.
I just want to point out something that Craig said, is that if that particular edit was specific to that theater, then if they bought that print, they own it and no one else would get their hands on it. I totally get it, and that's a good point. My comment is like, is it the only theater that has that edit? I feel like if that's the edit that's going around the US at the time, there's more than one copy of that edit, right? Like a theater in 1980s, like there's no Boston theaters like splicing the negative the way they want to, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that seems rather extreme.
Craig says incredible film is a bit much, but it's certainly better than the original. Sorry to overindulge the words there, Craig.
I will also, before we get off, move on to other stuff, happier stuff. I do want to also point out this one last thing. It says, "We will remember your attention to detail on our."
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
which is just neighboring on mafia talk. We'll remember this the next time. We'll remember your loyalty. Like,
yeah.
What does that mean? We will remember your attention to detail.
Yeah, that's a really gross line in this.
What does that mean? It's like a weird. It's like you try to intimidate people, but just messed it up.
Yikes!
I don't know.
Again, like a bit, what he's implying there. Pay attention when they say we will remember your attention to detail. What he's saying is we thought we could skirt this past you without you noticing.
Right. I guess it does read like that. It's like we'll remember that when we move on to our next title. I thought it was more like we will remember your. Yeah, I know. I always read it. I read it as like we'll remember, you're knowing what the better version is, like to buy, like
right.
I don't know. Blade Runner original. Final Cut. Come on. I mean, look. If you want to watch the voiceover, that's fine. I've just never cared for the voiceover. Even Harrison Ford hates that voiceover.
Are we done with Caligula? Anything else you want to throw out there about Caligula?
We didn't know it then, but when we were free, what the fuck am I reading here? About Caligula, no, I'm perfectly okay. I was prepared for that. The silent release was so botched. What is this, Craig? What were you talking about?
Craig helped a little bit with the restoration on Caligula, the Ultimate.
Oh, did you put some cats in there?
I know he supplied the DCP to, was it Beyond Fest that did the screening? Somebody like that.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's Caligula. That was a lot. Yeah.
Who would have thought of all the movies to get like that giant rant and discussion controversy? It's Caligula.
Tinto Brass from 40 years ago.
Yeah. Cheeky.
You know what? Brendan says, let's make a Mad Libs version of that response letter. It feels like a Mad Libs already.
He does, and I will make one.
Craig says they needed a DCP, but he also consulted on the whole process for a couple of years. Nice.
Oh.
All right. Let's get to some Criterion.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
January 7th, 4K release of Yojimbo and Sanjuro, 2 films by a little-known director named Akira Kurosawa. This is a 4K digital restoration that is, as far as I can tell, brand new compared to the last one.
Yeah.
This is going to have all the same extras from the previous release, and I'm glad I never picked up the Blu-ray, and I will be able to have this now.
Do you think, I'm really surprised it hasn't happened so far, but do you think at some point we're just going to get a Kurosawa box set again? Like, I know there's a DVD, but
I don't think we will have an all-encompassing box set. I would not be surprised if they did a couple volumes. Did maybe like broken up by decades, potentially?
Maybe. Okay.
It's just so expensive to make a full Kurosawa 4K box set. I doubt they would do that.
I mean, they did it for, the Bergman's a lot of stuff.
That wasn't 4K.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, maybe, who knows? After the CC40 box set, it's just going to be like the Blu-ray box set, and then, but if you want the 4Ks, you got to buy them individually. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible.
Yeah.
I'm glad this is coming out. More Kurosawa on 4K. Great thing. Nothing wrong with that. Next,
Is that the one where what's his name is being actually shot at with real arrows, and he's freaking out?
ooh, maybe I am not a Kurosawa scholar. I've not seen
I don't know.
enough.
That's why I was asking. I do know there's that moment where he is being shot at with real arrows, and his reactions are genuine.
Madhouse says Paper Moon aspect ratio changed from the original 185:1 to 166:1 on the upcoming release.
And they're not offering both aspect ratios because that's something that they'll do a lot of the time. They did with Underwater.
I've not verified that. I should look that up. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
Next one is a 4K Blu-ray and DVD release of The Mother and the Whore from 1973. This hurt a lot of people because I believe many people thought that there was a complete box set coming of Jean Eustache, or however you say the name. But it likely this is probably an indication that that's not happening. Reservoir says Throne of Blood is the one you were thinking of with the arrows.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it.
The hard thing here again, like 4K, even for this is going to be expensive because this is a long ass movie. This is like a 3.5 hour movie or 3 hour 45, something like that.
I thought it was a box set at first when I read the description. The breakdown makes it sound like it made it sound like it was a box set, but it was long thought lost, and that you can. Whenever you tell me something anything was long thought lost, I'm like, God damn, now I gotta do it.
Yep.
And I watched the trailer. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's supposed to be great. This one, since it's a brand new to the collection title, we've got a new interview with actor Francois Lebrun, new conversation with filmmaker Jean-Pierre Gorin and writer Rachel Kushner, some programming in the film's restoration segment from the French television series, featuring Lebrun and Jean Eustache and actors Bernadette Lafont and Jean-Pierre Leaud. Essay by Lucy Sant and an introduction to the film by Eustache, and should be a pretty solid release.
Absolutely.
This one was 2 VHSs. I always hated when it was 2 VHS tapes.
I had a bunch on Titanic, Braveheart,
Casino.
I didn't have Casino when I was young, but I'm trying to think what other ones I had. There were a lot of them. The Godfather was a big one. That was.
Next up is JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, coming on 4K and Blu-ray on January 14th. This is a 1986 Richard Pryor film. This says, one of the greatest comedians of all time, Richard Pryor, gets raw and real in this brutally funny and lacerating self-portrait following the notorious incident in which he caught on fire while high on cocaine, nearly losing his life. Pryor exorcised his inner demons by writing, producing, directing, and starring in this dizzying Hall of Mirrors biopic and backstage drama, which traces a young comedian's rise to fame from his childhood growing up in a brothel to the colorful experiences that shaped his edgy comic voice to the addiction struggles that brought him to the brink of death. As he did in his legendary stand-up sets, here Pryor fearlessly turns his soul inside out, revealing the deep vulnerability that made his art so compelling. Now, the extras on this. New interview on the film with Robert Townsend, an interview with the director Richard Pryor from a 1985 episode of The Dick Cavett Show, and an appreciation by Hilton Als, a film critic. That is it. On a Richard Pryor disc coming from Criterion, you don't have anybody like talking about Pryor. You don't have a commentary on the film talking about his life. You don't have the real life parallels of things that he had to face and what you saw on the screen here. You don't have anybody that you are willing to reach out to actually discuss the man, Richard Pryor, on this disc.
We're going to talk about it later.
This?
When we talk about our labels later, we'll get into, start talking about this. But this is what frustrates me because the infrastructure, the connections that Criterion has,
right?
Like just so many boutique labels would kill for these connections. So my hope is that they now that they see it, like I really do think that them seeing all those people out waiting in the rain for their stuff shows that there's actually an appreciation for special features. Because the people who are now they have a team of people producing the closet videos. You now see on their website they have all the closet videos available to view. You don't have to just go to YouTube to look for them. They really are now going into that content of hate to say the word content, but like actually like realizing, oh, people really like this. I told Sarah Beebe, the head of the designing of the covers, I said, oh man, I love that video of them showing how they came up with the cover for Foreign Correspondent. And the person next to me was like, oh yeah, I love that video. And she goes, oh really? Oh, okay, I gotta remember that. You know, like they don't get the feedback. They get people writing going like, when are you gonna put this out? But they don't get people writing and saying like, hey, would love to see more of this. And I said, people love, the uniformed look of your cases. Like when something goes digipack to Amaray, people get, and she was just like, oh, really? Like, yeah, I guess that is a big, like, they don't think, they don't have that direct line to the fans other than people writing either complete, like, whacked out hate mail or just like a list, like a wish list. There is no real social media connection.
Right.
Even Janos, like, it's really just love this film, love this film, love this film, but no real, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of social media with them.
And don't get me wrong, I am amazed and very happy that this title is getting the Criterion treatment, especially on 4K. It's got great cover art that is going to look amazing on the Barnes & Noble shelves. People are going to pick this up just because it looks beautiful. I'm so glad it's coming. However, it does disappoint when you do something like this, especially with like the New York Times article from a handful of years ago, and you don't do anything on literally the most important Black comedian arguably ever, and you don't get any history on that.
Well, like you said many of the times when people, obviously myself included, complain about things, is you say, hey, look, there's licensing things. They may have wanted to, they just couldn't do it. Remember, they have to talk to his estate and try and work things out. But still, and this, I'm not saying this is the case, and I hope it's not the case with Criteria, because it sometimes feels like they rest on their laurels where it's like, we put the C on it. Yep. And that's all it needs to sell. Like, we don't need to put special features because it's got the C, and so someone's going to buy it. But
and one thing I fear, you brought up the whole, maybe they see all these people waiting in the rain and that gives them instilled hope in it. The hard part for me, just because I'm going to be cynical about it, I feel like they're going to see all these people in the rain and go, honestly, we still have this crowd, even though we've not been trying too hard on the extras. Maybe we can keep going.
So I'll take your cynicism, and I'll say, I think there's a difference between fans buying and meeting the fans.
And I also think there's a difference between a business running the label and film appreciation in a way that ran the label 15, 20 years ago.
Yes, and I think just like the Academy is getting, like, obviously expanding the number of members and getting younger people and people of different, walks of life, we get different films. Remember in social media comments they used to do if they're submitting their reviews on sort of, oh yeah, absolutely. You can still submit, I think, your recommendations, but it really just it's like it's like writing to Santa. I mean, dear Santa, I would love this movie, and then it's like maybe one day, it happens. But I think, that was just New York, and New York is probably the most obvious thing.
Right,
like,
right.
Like they said, like, we're probably going to come back here and do another one in a month, and we'll do it in Brooklyn. I'm like, well, the Wes Anderson people are already lining up, getting themselves in distinct order. But like, once they get out to like, the Midwest and stuff and see that there's still lines of people, it's like, wow, you got to have a direct line to your fans. There has to be. Gary doesn't even put a commentary track on half of their releases now. It's sad to say. Yeah, and they used to. I feel like the Criterion and again, I like the films they're putting out, but as far as like the stuff they used to put out on Laserdisc, if you brought a little of that back, and I'm not talking about like dropping Breakfast Club in the middle of everything and having a bunch of film snobs be like, why is Breakfast Club in the middle of the thing? But like, go after, and again, maybe they are, but go after The Killers or The Killer, or like go after, what was the other Chow Yun-fat film? What's the other one? You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, honestly, I'm not going to argue about titles. Like the titles that they're releasing are great. I think the hard part here, and with Wave saying Criterion doesn't even put a commentary track on half of their releases, what's worse, they don't put new commentary tracks on, but maybe like 5% of their releases.
Right.
They're putting old commentary tracks on stuff. that is the bigger problem, of course.
Thank you, Matt Hess. Appreciate it. Yeah.
The fact that you are the institution that popularized the commentary, and now you're sticking up your middle finger to it makes no sense.
Well, it's all like I want a commentary, but that's something that is like good for us. Like we'll get a disc and be like, oh, cool, we get a commentary now. But as far as bringing in a wider audience, when you start putting more genre film, like if the substance came to Criterion, or
that'd be huge.
Like when you brought in that market, again, they were rightfully so to expand it. Obviously, black filmmakers, they didn't have a lot of that. Asian filmmakers, they brought more of that in after the complaints, and I do believe that brought more people into the buying from their collection. And now it's like, why don't you have more action films and horror films? You just have to find the gems, the ones that something like Carnival of Souls. Like there's other Carnival of Souls out there that you can bring to the collection.
You're right.
There's absolutely ways to, because there's only so many, new wave French films you can put out.
Last semi-complaint, which isn't really a complaint. I mentioned this primarily about the Amazing Godzilla box set.
Mm-hmm.
Criterion, please release prints. I want a poster of the Godzilla box set cover. This would make an incredible poster for somebody that's a huge fan of Richard Pryor. You don't even have to do every one. We know that they're not all going to be perfect as a print, but like one a month probably deserves it.
Yeah. Well, they do give a little postcard booklet. Like I got, they were out of the tote bags at Barnes & Noble, but I got a pack of postcards. It was like literally a postcard for every single title cover art that came out that year.
Right.
I was like, this is great. I love this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful art. Absolutely.
All right. The next one, The Grifters. This is coming on 4K and Blu-ray on January 21st. This is from 1990 with John Cusack, Angelica Houston, Annette Bening, and more. This one that does have an audio commentary with Stephen Frears, John Cusack, Angelica Houston, and Donald E. Westlake. It is not a new commentary. That is a archival commentary. We got a new interview with Annette Bening on this, a short making of documentary with a bunch of people from the making of the film. But really, the only new thing on this is that interview with Annette Bening, which, cool. I'm glad they got an interview with Annette Bening. Great. Essay by Jeffrey O'Brien on this as well. Sister Hyde did the cover for this one. Yeah. Looks great. Glad this is coming out.
I mean, I held off for so long with that Miramax release. Yep. And then the Miramax release came out later with a digital copy, where it's like an anniversary edition, and it was still the same bad print. And I held off for a long time, and I'm so happy I finally did. I'm like, I saw this, I was like, well, that's the one I'm getting.
Yeah.
I get rid of this.
Next and final, I think this is the final. Yes. Final announcement of the month. Winchester 73 from 1950 getting a 4K and Blu-ray release on January 28th. This is a Western directed by Anthony Mann with James Stewart. Brand new 4K digital restoration undertaken by Universal in collaboration with the Film Foundation. It's got a 4K disc of the film and a Blu-ray with film and special features. Audio commentary with James Stewart and Paul Lindenschmidt. With James Stewart, you know it's an archival commentary, not a brand new one. New interview with film programmer Adam Perron on the portrayal of Native Americans in the Western genre. Lux Radio Theater adaptation of the film from 1951. And then an essay by Imogen Sarah Smith, who's always fantastic.
And I actually didn't realize until now, I met Gregory Manchester, the guy who did the art for this.
Oh, nice.
He's a really nice guy. If you get a chance, check out his Instagram, because it is just incredible. Like the way that he paints. He's done quite a few titles. I know he did the 310 to Yuma cover for them. It's just, yeah, I know he did the
Sounds right.
Four Feathers, I believe he did as well. Yeah, it's incredible. Like, Jimmy Stewart. I definitely James Stewart. Yeah, I'm just not a Western person, but
same here.
Yeah, but again, someone's jumping up and down at this.
You know what somebody is probably not jumping up and down for is that 2 years later, we're getting a 4K steelbook of Elvis in a Walmart exclusive release on November 19th. This is so odd. No new bonus features on this. Nothing else brand new. Just a random Elvis 4K steelbook.
We don't run. People just want to get people just want a 4K sometimes. They just want a steelbook. Oh, sweet steelbook.
This is true.
Yeah. Did you like Elvis?
I've not seen it because everybody says it's the worst Tom Hanks, and I don't want that in my brain.
It is not good, Tom. It's just it's cartoonish Tom Hanks, but it's worth it to see Austin Butler's performance. It really, really is.
I do want to see it. I also want to see how my dear friend John, who's been on here before, who's the broadcast director of the Mets. There's a couple scenes that inspired some of what he's done for the Mets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Very interested to see that. Fun City announced a couple new titles. We got Lifeguard from 1976 coming soon on Blu-ray. This is a Sam Elliott film, I believe, or is that the other one? No, it's this one. Limited edition site exclusives. I should have just looked at the poster. I was trying to read. Limited edition site exclusive slip with vintage artwork, double-sided wrap with legacy artwork, new commentary by Jim Healy and Ben Reiser, booklet with new essay by Christina Cacciapo, and that's in the first pressing only.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing I will say that isn't great about this, I don't love the whole let's put up a pre-order and not know when it's coming out thing that Fun City's doing.
They did that with the trailer collection.
Yeah.
That was especially expensive, and I'm like, I'm not pre-ordering with a TBD.
Yeah. I don't know.
Now, that being said, this is the most Kino Fun City release. Like, this is a total Kino title. And also, when did Sam Elliott ever look like that? It has been a while. That is, I need to see this to believe. I mean, I guess, Roadhouse, he was kind of, I don't know. I don't know. That's a bit of an exaggeration. I don't know. Checking some of the slips. I don't print any of them. Yeah, I know. I missed out on the last two, the Heavenly Bodies and the Paradise. I mixed it because I waited far too long.
The other one coming out is 1984's Racing with the Moon. Again, no release date listed for this one, coming soon on Blu-ray. This one is also the exclusive slip cover for the site. I think they're doing that for everything moving forward now, by the way. New commentary by Bill Ackerman and Mariah Gates. That is going to be a great commentary. Booklet with a new essay by the one and only Walt Cha. Going to be a great booklet. Can't wait to read that. We got an image gallery archival making a featurette and an archival commentary by the director of this one. I've never seen this one either.
I have not seen either, but I mean, it's a great. I mean, you got Sean Penn, you got Nicolas Cage. I could have sworn that was Audrey from Twin Peaks until I saw it was Elizabeth McGovern. I really thought that was Flynn. So what's her name?
Laura Flynn Boyle.
No, the other one, Audrey.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Sherilyn Fenn.
So that is Fun City. They still exist. People are still loving them. Go check them out. Don't forget they're out there. Next up, December 17th, Kino is releasing For Love or Money from 1963 with Kirk Douglas. Weird poster on this one. Like,
Kirk Douglas looks like Sylvester Stallone.
Kind of. I can kind of see that one. New commentary by Howard S. Berger and Steve Mitchell on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's not to be mistaken with the Michael J. Fox movie, which I adore.
Correct. Next one, December 17th. Also, The Ballad of Josie from 1968 with the one and only Doris Day. Again, new commentary by Howard S. Berger and Steve Mitchell.
Nice.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to like this one, and they didn't even go all out.
Gary.
December 17th, Magnolia is... I have not, no.
Oh, Gary, Sam Elliott was once Mr. Universe.
Way back in 76, Gary.
Exactly.
Magnolia is releasing the film Sleep from 2023, which I have heard incredible things about.
Yeah,
I've wanted to see it for quite some time. This is, I believe, not coming through the Magnolia arm of Vinegar Syndrome, their partner label Magnolia. This is just coming out wide. I would be remiss to miss this. I definitely want to see it soon.
Yeah.
Heard great things.
Yep.
Terrifier 3 back on the menu.
Still not the one I want to talk about, but okay, go ahead.
I know. We are getting in the States a limited edition collector's box set, and it will include collector's edition of the 4K and Blu-ray, a Terrifier 3 box of soap, a Terrifier 3 Art the Clown selfies, Polaroid replicas, Terrifier 3 barf bag, Art the Clown mini mask, Terrifier 3 Art the Clown enamel pin, and a Terrifier 3 ornament. That's a lot. And if you go to pre-order it, it's a heck of a lot. It is $130 at the moment on Amazon.
That's some Scream Factory shit right there.
It is so much money. Like, I understand you're getting soap and an ornament, but $130?
One pin? And no lobby cards?
You do get Polaroids, though, so.
Not the Polaroids I want.
You already got that. You're standing in the closet. You're fine.
Oh, yeah. I was making a dirty joke.
So we'll hear more about this coming soon, I'm sure. We still don't even have the art or anything for that. The art. But we do have another Terrifier announcement to talk about in a little bit. But first, Severin. December 3rd, they're putting out a Blu-ray release of Hard Wood, the adult features of Ed Wood. On Blu-ray number 1, we've got Necromania. We got a commentary with Ed Wood Summit host Greg Haver and author Paul Apple. And that also includes The Only House in Town. Also has a commentary.
Okay.
I'm tired, dude. It's been a long day. Another commentary on that one with Greg and Spicy Goldman of Capri Show World. The second disc is The Young Marrieds with a commentary with Greg again, and then porn archaeologist collector Dimitri Otis. This also has Sex Loops with subtitles by Ed Wood. Then the third disc on this will have Shotgun Wedding. This is the Ed Wood penned Hicksploitation rarity called Shotgun Wedding. This will also include the Incredibly Strange Film Show Season 2, Episode 4 on Ed Wood Jr., Dana Gould and Bobcat Goldthwait talk about Wood's Twilight era. That alone is going to be super interesting. We got some interviews and some more on this. Lots coming in this 3-disc set. How do you feel about Ed Wood porn?
First of all, I want to know what a porn archaeologist is. Like
and collector.
Indiana Johnson. This is like, that's right. I found a dildo in that sand. I mean, Ed Wood, like, my brain doesn't compute that. Like, I was easier understanding the Caligula letter. Like, all I see is like Plan 9 from Outer Space and then porn. I'm like, so are they just like paper cutouts doing it? Like, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, is it just porn or is it like porn with like aliens? Like, I don't get it. What are we doing here?
I guess you got to buy it and find out.
I'll buy it a year after it gets put out by Severin so I can get it half price.
Coming in November, if you order direct, and then on December 3rd wide, they are also putting out Scala. I think is how you say it. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me in the chat. Scala.
Who knows?
Scale. This is the documentary that was also released by BFI recently. Mm-hmm. Brendan's laughing at Indiana Johnson. This one is going to have 3 discs as well. First disc is the documentary with the commentary with the co-directors, introduction from the UK premiere at 2023 BFI London Film Festival. Whole bunch of other commentaries and pieces going to be on this. The disc 2 Blu-ray is going to have a whole bunch of shorts that played at the theater as well. And then disc 3, whole bunch of other stuff. This is a lot. This is a huge release.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what it's about, and it looks like a mix of like La Dolce Vita and Saved by the Bell.
Now, thanks to Terry, Mr. Flickering Waves, he posted in the Discord today that he went and did the detective work. There is one short on the BFI release that is not on the Severin release. So, of course, if you want everything, there's always something missing. BFI's got one on there. A lot of people have loved this documentary. It's a fairly new documentary about does it say here? Yes. Between the politically volatile years of 78 to 93, London's most infamous repertory movie theater, or Pleasure Dome, screened over 4,000 mind-warping films that influenced a generation of remarkable writers, musicians, filmmakers, actors, artists, and activists. And they made a documentary about it, and it's supposed to be incredible.
All right. I'm all for a good doc.
Yeah, looks like a great release, and I'm interested in seeing it eventually. But if you want to buy it now, they've also given you 2 different bundles to choose from. You've got the Angora Raincoat bundle. You get the Ed Wood Blu-ray. You get The Only House, an exclusive adult paperback novel by Ed Wood, and then you've got a Hall of Fame enamel pin featuring Ed Wood. $47. That is a much better deal than $130 for all that
I was
Terrifier
about to
stuff.
say this feels like a very low, like is like that doesn't seem like Severin. I know you don't think those sales are ever going to happen again. They were trying to empty out their warehouse for out of print titles, but like this is. Do you think this is a turning of the tide where it's like?
I don't. I think this is fairly comparable to some of their single item Blu-ray bundles that they're putting out. Honestly, it's not a bad price. I'm happy with it. I'm glad that it's getting out there. I would not have expected this to be like $75, but I think that this is a good value compared to some other stuff we've seen.
For something that's limited to 200, I was expecting like 60 or something like this, because it is not just a single film; it's a collection of films.
Right.
Plus, which is 3 discs. You said, right? 3 discs.
Yes, 3 Blu-ray discs.
3 Blu-ray discs. The book, which, let's be honest, the Silent Night, Deadly Night book from Scream was $30 by itself.
Yep.
And an enamel pin, which, of course, apparently enamel pins, these boutique labels, is like platinum. It's like rare metals, precious metals being stamped. Oh, I am seriously, I'm very surprised by it. I really was expecting like $59, $69.
Well, let's compare it to the Scala, however you say it, bundle. $85. This one's limited to 300. You get the 3 Blu-ray release. You also get a second edition of the sold-out Scala. I hate that I don't know how to say this properly. This book is supposed to be amazing. We got some pictures of it in the Discord from a friend that already has it. I think that was Chris Yanko from Chicago. If so, thank you for sharing those, Chris. And then on top of all that, you also get a calendar insert and membership card. Again, $85 for a 3-disc Blu-ray. A calendar membership card is obviously like nominally cheap, but this book alone is massive and probably by itself would be going for like $50.
And is it? So how big is the book?
It is larger than the giant Fab Press books that they did for the Indicator Ormond set, which is huge.
Okay, I would like comparatively like the child death book. How compared to that?
Much larger. Like we're talking like a coffee table book.
Well, allow me to do my Art the Clown reaction. Really?
Adam says that book is hard to pick up. Yes, it's
Is it hard to pick up, hard to find, or is it hard to pick up like it's hard to pick up because it's heavy? And
it's heavy and has been out of print. So take that what you will.
Because the thing is, when I look at these pictures now, because ever since I got the Bad Biology, digibook, which is like teeny tiny, I was expecting like a bigger media book. So okay, it's heavy. Okay, yeah. I wonder if they're gonna shrink it down or something like that.
No.
Like Toshin does, with their books.
Not gonna happen. Nope. This is a great buy. The book looks amazing.
Okay. Cool.
We already talked about this sort of thing, I believe, last week or the week before. November 25th, BBC in the UK is releasing the Wallace and Gromit, the collection on 4K. This one is going to be missing, even in the extras. There is no Curse of the Were-Rabbit because it is licensing reasons. They don't have the rights in the UK. But if you want an alternative to the Shout Factory release, this is where you can pick it up. I see in the comments, Mr. Christopher Silvestri just joined, says this release is beautiful. Was talking about the last thing, but I did want to say happy birthday, Chris. Thanks for showing up on your birthday.
And I'm surprised that the UK does not have the rights to all the Wallace and Gromit. That's the very
BBC themselves doesn't. Somebody else
does. Themselves. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I love Wallace and Gromit. They're adorable.
John Wayne's Hatari is getting a 4K release from Kino on December 10th. Will also be out on a Blu-ray release on the same day. This one has new audio commentary by Julie Kurgo and Peter Henkoff, and that is the only special feature on this disc.
Yeah, this is John Wayne yelling at someone who got blacklisted.
All right. Fairly Odd Parents getting a complete series DVD release on November 26th. Most of this was in SD, so I understand why it didn't need to be in HD. However, I do still wish they put it on Blu-ray because it could have been like a third of the amount of discs.
Yeah.
But thanks, Paramount, I guess.
Is it? Do you think I'm sure we talked about this before. Is it just less expensive to make, let's say, 15 DVDs than it is to make 6 Blu-rays? Is it?
Probably that. I've never chased down the price of a DVD because nobody's doing it anymore. But that's probably the exact reason.
Okay, because I'm just like, I don't know why they wouldn't try and put it on fewer discs. So you make it the box smaller box, less cost,
Less shelf space if it goes to some shelves.
Yeah, I just I don't know why you wouldn't. So, yeah.
This thing. November 26th, Universal is releasing a 4K iconic film collection of Alfred Hitchcock. Now, what's interesting is this actually is not just Universal. This is in partnership with Warner Brothers and Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
And this will include North by Northwest and To Catch a Thief from Warner Brothers and Paramount, respectively. And it is stylized the same as those Universal Monster sets that we got last year.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what to feel about the art. As far as I can tell, there is no new bonus features or anything. So if you've got the previous 4K releases of Hitchcock, there's not really a reason to have this unless you're a completist and you really want the book. But
can you zoom in a little bit so I can just see the close-up of the art, the cover art? Oh, yeah. I mean, I like it.
It's a very specific pop art style.
It is, and I actually do like that pop art stuff.
Yeah, same.
It's a table piece, or it's like if you have a lot of shelf space, it's one of those things you face outward to show off to people. But like you said, anyone who's like a Hitchcock aficionado is going to have this already, and it's not all his films, not even close. And it's probably going to be like at least $100, right?
I think it is over $100. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is. It's just stylizing. It's like, look, it's like someone who's like, I've got to have all the Hitchcock everything, as opposed to like the last one when we talked about from the who's putting out all the older films. Was it Imprint? Who's putting out all those like the Murder and the older films?
Studio Canal in the UK.
Studio Canal, like that.
But by the way, Imprint did announce that they are doing something called the Hitchcock 10 or Hitchcock 9 or whatever.
Oh, okay, but that box, that one from Studio Canal is something I would be enticed to get. If I was to like get rid of my Kinos and just be like, right. I'm just going to put in this one box and have Juno and the Peacock with that. Yeah, $160. What did I still dig? Yeah, Craig said I still have the 4K sets though. Yeah, it's just someone who's like, I've got to have them all. I'd rather have the poster. I would dig this poster art.
Gary wants to know if that's the same artist that did the cover on the Universals or they're just copying it. Honestly, it could be either one.
I would guess just for legal matters, it would just be the same person. Otherwise,
I would hope so.
If I was that artist, I would have been like, and that's not me. I'd be like, fuck you. You just turned me off.
Anyways, let's talk about Hellboy. Hellboy the Crooked Man is coming on Blu-ray in the US on December 17th from Ketchup Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Ketchup Entertainment.
First off, I think Ketchup Entertainment went debunked already, I think it already went under. Are they the ones that put out that horrible Robert Rodriguez film with Ben Affleck?
Maybe?
If so, they're already bankrupt. They already went under. So if they're the ones who produced the film, I have to look into it. But if someone wants to do that research, like who produced that Ben Affleck movie about him, it's like an Inception ripoff.
Yeah, I never remember the title of it.
Yeah, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. But if anyone, I think Ketchup Films is the ones who did that, and they had already gone under. I had no idea a Hellboy movie was coming out. Who is playing Hellboy? Who is that?
I don't remember. Hypnotic is the name of that movie that you're thinking of.
Thank you, Paul. Now I'm flashing back to that horror movie.
Craig says he's heard Hellboy comic fans enjoyed this and the Hellboy movie fans did not.
I don't mind. I never saw the new one. I appreciate the practical effects more in the Guillermo del Toro versions, but I don't mind either gentleman playing Hellboy.
But did this on purpose. If this doesn't look too enticing to you because the cover art is awful and there's no special features, what you could do is also order this on 4K coming on the December 9th, so right around the same time. Also coming on Blu-ray in the UK from Icon Film Distribution. This will have more than 2 hours of bonus content, including cast and crew interviews and B-roll, packaged with a limited edition premium O-ring, plus double-sided poster and 4 art cards. So even though it's a brand new Hellboy movie, you can get a super fancy 4K from the UK.
Yeah, Jack Kessie. I have no idea. Thank you, Ronnie. I have no idea who Jack Kessie is.
Craig says this is the one that Mignola wrote. Yes, and yes, it is. Never seen it.
No. I would love for Del Toro to get to make his third Hellboy movie. That would be nice.
Probably won't.
After winning Best Picture, you'd think they would have thrown him a bone, but
right. Dread Presents and Epic Pictures have announced their Halloween sale. You can go get 31% off of all of their Epic and Dread Blu-ray releases if you put in the code EPHallow24.
I'm good.
I believe I checked. I think it's even working. I think they have 1 or 2 pre-orders right now. I think it's working on that as well. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I mean, I saw they had the first Terrifier, and that was the only thing I even recognized.
I've got most of their line, and some of them are not terrible.
Are they behind you right now?
No, they're actually stacked up in the window. I can't reach most of them. Good try to test the theory. Hey, Umbrella announced a bunch of titles late in the middle of the night last night. First one, a 4K release of You Were Never Really Here from 2017, the Lynn Ramsey film. This is coming on February 5th. This is going to have a 48-page book with behind-the-scenes experiences and art with essays by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Andrew Pierce, with a custom artwork rigid case, custom designed slipcase, 8 art cards, reversible poster, of course, limited numbered release as they do. And as for the extras, we got a new audio commentary with writer and critic Simon Murado, new Wilderness of the Lost Soul visual essay with Bryn Tilley, new interview with the music supervisor, new radio interview with Lynn Ramsey, and a couple archival features on this one. What do you think of this movie?
I love this movie. Have you seen it?
I have. I thought the trailer was a way better movie than this movie.
I like that it, because again, I was expecting kind of like a Death Wish, Taken type of thing, but it almost like rides a fine line between what it is, like this revenge rescue movie, and something much. And I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it, so I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the story. But it straddles the line of 2 different types of stories, both of which I would have been perfectly okay with. And I actually think it's like all of a sudden you're like, I don't know if these 2 flavors are going to mix, and you're like, oh, they do. And I get what you're saying. That the trailer is like, but I do also understand that it's a hard movie to advertise.
It is.
Like, clearly, you're not going to sell this to a major audience. It's like,
well,
we're going to make this look like a Death Wish movie. Like,
I also argue any Lynn Ramsey is kind of hard to advertise.
Yeah, it's like when they advertise Drive as like a Fast and Furious movie. It's like, how do we get people to come see this movie? Strange thing is that up until recently, Lynn Ramsey wasn't listed on Blu-ray.com as far as their My Movies app. Like, you could not separate. You couldn't see your Lynn Ramsey movies.
Weird.
It was so weird. I was like looking through. I was like, why doesn't Lynn Ramsey have a place in my collection? She's been since added, but I was like, that's so weird. That's not there. But the cover artist with the hammer on the back.
Yep.
Is that the same artist that did some of the Mondo titles recently?
Oh, it's possible.
It looks very, this is the way the edging and the colors and the simplicity of it. It also reminds me of one of the Blue, what is it? The Blue Underground. What's the Mexico something or other? It was like a black and white and red cover. I think Selma Hayek's in the movie. It was a 4K. It came out like 5 years ago. It was like a series of like 3 like Mexican like revenge movies or thrillers or something like that, and I cannot remember the label, but one of them was like starred Selma Hayek. I can't remember. I'll have to think. I'll look it up at some point.
This looks great. Good movie, like I said. Comes out on February 5th. I don't remember if I said the date. All of these umbrella titles do. Next one, after I clicked the wrong thing.
Good work.
Had to do that at least once. It's been a while. February 5th on Blu-ray is Filth, also coming. This is from 2013, the James McAvoy. Now, this one I've never seen, but I've wanted to see it for quite some time. Again, 48-page book with behind the scenes and art with essays by Nadine Whitney and David Michael Brown. Full original 350-page Filth novel by Irvine Welsh in hardback. Filth mini plastic baggie, of course. Original poster artwork, rigid case, original poster artwork, slipcase, some art cards, poster, numbered release, all that fun stuff. And then for the extras, we get a commentary with the director and the author, Irvine Welsh. We've got a new 2024 interview with Matthew Jensen, who is the cinematographer. New red carpet interviews with the cast and crew. New collected interviews with John S. Baird, James McAvoy, and Irvine Welsh. Some archival features that are outtakes, deleted scenes, all that fun stuff. Have you seen Phil?
I have not, but I do own the UK Blu-ray because I had heard about it. Someone mentioned it on a podcast or something and said this was a good movie. And then I saw that Imogen Poots is in it. So
you're talking about Perdita Durango, Humboldt Horror Honey wanted to point out. Severin released the Perdita Durango.
Thank you. So thank you for making me not feel like I'm completely like losing my mind. Like I don't know what Dan's talking about.
That one is right behind me.
And he turns around and it's there. It all comes full circle. That's exactly the one I was thinking of. Yes, thank you. I think that's the same artist.
We got some people saying they like Filth, some saying they don't like Filth, some saying it's pretty good. Paul says Filth is good, read the book this year and hated it, hard to get through. Chris says I feel like Filth because I just ordered the old Blu-ray 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this came out around the same time I think as that oh, it's getting late. That's why I'm blanking on names. The Jude Law movie, where he's like the mobster getting out of prison. It was like around the same time. It's like he's screaming at the cover. He's like screaming right at you. And there's this one. It's like the two came out on the same time.
Somebody will tell us in the chat.
They're going to tell us in the chat. I have it, and someone's going to beat me to it. It's fine. Anyone on it? Not
yet. Somebody's going to say it in the next 5 seconds, though, probably.
Name of the character. The movie is named after the character. Don Hemingway, is it? Did I get it right? Don Hemingway? Something Hemingway? Oh, man. Wi-Fi.
And he's floundering.
And my Blu-ray, my movies app just crashed on me. Great.
Of course.
Hold on. I got all my Jude Laws hashtagged.
Paul says Don Hemingway.
Don Hemingway, thank you. I thought it was. Okay.
So does Chris.
Yeah, Don Hemingway, thank you. Yeah, they both came around at the same time, I think. And it was like that, like, which one is this one about?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, a big title coming from Umbrella is The Crying Game from 1992. An unlikely friendship develops between IRA member Fergus and Jody, a British soldier he is holding captive. When the hostage-taking ends up going horribly wrong, Fergus escapes and heads to London, where he seeks out Jody's lover, an enigmatic hairdresser named Dill. As secrets unravel and personal loyalties are tested, The Crying Game explores the complex dynamics of trust and human nature in a world filled with hidden truths. This will again have a 48-page book with behind-the-scenes experiences and art, poster, slipcase, and rigid case, 8 art cards, reversible poster, new audio commentary with Jane Giles on this, or Giles. New audio commentary with the director Neil Jordan, or sorry, that one's not new, that's archival. New Big Secret from 2024 interview with the producer, Stephen Woolley, and then a whole lot of archival extras, including 3 trailers, alternate endings, with some commentaries.
Have you seen
this Game? This is one that, again, just based on the title, I think I have, but it would have been when I was literally like 14, and it's been ages.
I know the twist, so I'll say no one's going to spoil it. But I just got done. Well, not just got it, but a couple months ago, I read the book. I actually have it right here. Down and Dirty Pictures, which is about the building, the rise of the independent film scene in the 90s.
Nice.
and the formation of the Sundance Film Festival and Miramax. And I hate Harvey Weinstein even more now. Didn't think that was possible. But this is a big part of it because they talked about how they were trying to it was almost like a roadshow release.
Right.
They slowly don't, and it was all the whole tag was don't spoil the surprise. I'm really surprised that this hasn't gotten a US release by Criterion or something like that. I have the BFI release, and that's all I need. But
maybe now it will. Now that they're seeing Umbrella release this, maybe this will get a 4K in 3 months.
I mean, not to spoil anything, but I think many would feel that the twist has not aged well, or the story has not aged well.
Well, going to the next one. February 5th, we are also getting spring, summer, fall, winter, and spring from 2003. This is from the director Kim Ki-duk. We also have some previous titles from that director before. We got a new audio commentary with Pierce Conran and James Marsh, new visual essay by Nadine Whitney, some archival features. How do you feel about the art on this?
The art? The centerpiece, like the face, is good, and some of it feels unfinished. Like it feels like they're still working on like the kid's face. What do you think?
I could see that. It's not bad, but I saw a lot of complaints about the art on this one today. I didn't think it was terrible.
Like if you go back one, that is more striking. No, that the other way. That one right there. Like that's more striking.
Right.
Like that framing, I would have that as the cover.
Well, and the actual cover itself, this is pretty great too.
Yeah, that's all centered out. The other one just feels like it feels like there's waiting to be more things put into the scene.
Right.
You can't, because it says there's no waves. It's just a flat sea. Scene or design, which I got in it.
And I've heard lots of great things about this title. This is one that a couple people have been talking about over the last few months, actually, because we were getting more titles from this director. So glad this is coming. Looks good.
Yeah.
Another one, final one from Umbrella, is this year's Azrael. They are getting this release. This is going to have a 20-page booklet. We got an audio commentary with the director, making of, FX, behind the scenes, all that fun stuff. This is a brand new horror movie from this year that's supposed to be just great.
Which I tried to see, and I couldn't because it was only playing like for a day.
Oh, geez, that's awful.
And at Times Square, it was like 2 showings, and then it was out. It was done.
Right.
There was nothing like that, actually. They did the same thing. It was like, where'd that movie go?
I'm sure this will get probably at least another release in the US and maybe a release in the UK. But either way, it's not that expensive from Umbrella. It's only like $20.
Do you consider Samara Weaving a scream queen?
I mean, she's only done she's done like 4 horror movies that are big, but she was only really the scream queen in like maybe 2 of them. Like Ready or Not, you might be able to get enough out of that for it, but
she's like the final girl from the very beginning.
Yeah,
it's like a whole movie about a final girl.
Right. And The Babysitter, she's great. The other weird one,
villain.
Exactly. And the other one that I was going to throw out there, Mayhem, like that's not even truly like a horror movie. It's more like an action movie.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. And Scream 6, she's in the opening.
Right. Barely, too.
Yeah. So again, I mean, I get it, but there's like so many other final girls or like scream queens I would put there.
Yep.
Oh, Richard. Okay. I like the trailer. I want to see it.
Yeah, I've heard it's great.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people put it on their best of horror list for this year, and it's been a pretty good year for horror.
That used to be my nickname when I was like 16, 17, when I was in theater camp.
Horror?
This is nerdy. Because do you remember the Chris Kattan skit from Snell? I'm Azrael, Prince of Sorrows. And I used to say that all the time. And so I named myself Azrael. And there's a lot of video footage of me at 17 just with a George Clooney like Caesar haircut, like listening to Prodigy and calling myself Azrael. It's embarrassing.
Amazing. That is so 90s.
Yeah. And Night has so other way twist. I mean, yes. Just don't even say there's a twist anymore, because then everyone's like, I'm doing the math in my head when I watch a movie going,
Right.
what is
I
it?
agree.
What's happening?
Next title, December 3rd, Warner Brothers is putting out a 4K and Blu-ray for the next animated Watchmen film, and that's Watchmen Chapter 2 from this year. I've heard these are actually pretty great. Most of the Warner Brothers stuff that's been animated has been very good.
This animation is specific because this looks like the animation they did for What If, with Marvel's What If. My only qualm is that, as everyone knows at this point, they're going to do a all-together package.
Of
with
course.
them. So if it's only Chapter 1, Chapter 2, if they're going to do like I don't even know if the Tales from the Black Freighter is depicted in this, but it's
I'm
like,
not sure.
if you're not going to have a Chapter 3, like, why Chapter 1? Just put them all together.
Right.
Just so there's one big set from the very beginning. Because if
agree.
everyone's caught on to that at that point, now you're just going to piss people off. Because it is one giant story.
Right.
I just don't understand it. Anyway.
Next up, Cinema Guild, one that we don't talk about all that often. They are putting out In Water, the next Hong Sang-soo from 2023. This one will have Greetings for the New York Film Festival, a short film by Hong Sang-soo, extended look at a traveler's needs by Hong Sang-soo, theatrical trailer and a booklet with an essay by writer and programmer Antoine Therion, reversible cover art, and that is it. Hong Sang-soo, have you seen anything from Hong Sang-soo?
I have not, shamefully. I saw this today. I was really intrigued by it, but I have not. Unfortunately, have you?
Yeah, I've seen a couple actually. I really like the director. This does say it's the most experimental film that they've done. Just another big shout out, because we don't talk about them that often. Grasshopper Pictures. They do a lot of Hong Sang-soo stuff. They've done like almost all of their catalog through Grasshopper. So make sure you check them out if you want. Again, beautiful art on this.
It
release.
really is.
This is such an incredible cover.
It almost doesn't. It shouldn't be on a physical media release. Like, this feels like a painting. Like, this should be somewhere in a frame, not on a cover for a Blu-ray.
Yeah, this would make an amazing print as well.
Yeah, I think to someone else. So I was looking at some of the comments there. I forgot what we're looking at there. But that's what I was gonna say. Is I often get Grasshopper and Sandpiper mixed up with each other.
Oh, those are very different.
Yeah, when I hear in my head, I'm like, do we like Grasshopper?
Grasshopper bed, Sandpiper. Hey.
Yeah. Wait, which ones? Yeah. It's like Dark Horse and Dark Star and Dark Matter. Or whatever.
Yeah. Dark Arts.
Dark. There's so many dark. It's like, yeah, we get it. It's so dark.
Hey, you mentioned this one earlier. Yeah. Internal Affairs from 1990 getting a 4K and Blu-ray release on December 17th from Kino. And all of the special features on the 4K disc are in audio commentary by Elaine Silver and James Rossini. And then on the Blu-ray, we've got some archival featurettes and interviews and stuff on this one. But at least it's not blank and with nothing else on there. Richard Gere, Andy Garcia.
Good 90s thriller. This is my bread and butter, and I have the studio release, but I'll probably get this at some point, because I thought it was final. When I first heard it announced, I thought it was Final Analysis with Richard Gere and Kim Basinger.
Bit different. Bit different there.
Yeah, I really just was like, oh, wow, because this has one of those bootleg gray market, what do you call it, Spanish releases.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I was about to get that, but I'll get this. And yeah, but I'd probably upgrade. What do you think of it?
It's a good movie. I've got it in the imprint Neo Noir 2, I think is the one that it's in.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's 2.
So yeah, good movie. The imprint Neo Noir boxes, I've got the third one, happen to be right next to me at the moment. These are like, they're speaking to my exact love, like the late 90s, early 2000s action thrillers. Like, those are great.
That's why I say, give me my Jade. Where's my William Friedkin's Jade in 4K?
I think it's coming soon.
It better. Come on, Tarzi.
I also don't think it's going to be Tarzi. But anyways, we'll go to the next one.
Yay! Wait, sorry.
Here is the brand new Terrifier 3. Now that we've talked about it 7 other times tonight, this is a release coming to France on February 19th, and this will have so much stuff. We've got toy, we've got a VHS replica, we've got a barf bag, we've got lots of discs. This has all 3 films, the second and third one on 4K. It also has All Hallows Eve, has an exclusive hand-painted piece. All that to say, if you get this giant bundle, it's already sold out. It sold out like within a few moments of me posting this. It is crazy.
How much?
However, what's that?
How much was it going for?
It was in euro, and I don't remember. I think it was like 130 euro, which
That's not bad.
would have put it at like 150, 170, a little more than that, probably.
Damn. I mean, I don't know if I go so far as to buy them in that set, but I mean, that's for all of that. That's not bad. If this was green, that would be like $300.
All that to say, how is this thing not the cover of the Steelbook?
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Or just that slipcover. Well, the slipcover should be the Christmas gift.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. Absolutely. I love Jesus, the price of rubbish these days. Look, if it's your thing, it's like I look at stuff like Terrifier, like spicy food. If you like spicy food, you're gonna love this. But there are some people that when you go to a restaurant, they're like, if you even suggest that it's spicy, you're like, no, can't have it. I can't. I'll be in the bathroom all night. It's going to end up being the John Wick part. Yeah, exactly. But again, John Wick is again someone else. It's very specific.
Right.
But if it's your thing, wow, you're gonna have a great time.
I agree with Adam. I like spicy, not this.
But again, there's gonna be something that you do like. As you're like, hey, let's go do this, and like, I do not like that.
Chris is asking, do you get all the movies with this? Yes, you get Terrifier 1 on Blu-ray, you get Terrifier 2 and 3 on 4K and Blu-ray, and you get All Hallows Eve on Blu-ray.
Can I get a closer look at that? The right next to the left of the barf bag. Never thought I'd ever just say that. That is a great. That could almost be the cover. I would take that.
Yep.
That is a great cover. Absolutely.
I think I've had enough Terrifier 3 for this week, so I think we're done for tonight.
Okay.
But let's talk about some Mondo.
Yeah.
They have finally revealed all of the sale titles. These will all be available to pre-order on October 22nd, which is only in 5 days next week. This will be coming at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, only at mondomacabro.bigcartel.com. That's it. The sale is going to be running from October 22nd to October 27th. And here we go. First up, Cafe Flesh on 4K and Blu-ray. It's going to have a slipcover. The art has not been revealed for the slip yet.
I love the simplicity of the TBA.
I'm almost surprised there wasn't like an ampersand that was.
I was literally just about to make that joke. Damn it. Okay, you're the host. Fine.
We've got an audio commentary with the director, designer, and co-writer Steven Sayedian. I never remember how to say his last name. AKA Rinstream. Interview with him as well. Interview with the co-writer Jerry Stahl. Interview with Jacob Smith at Northwestern University. Interview with writer and performer Jessica Stoya. But the cool thing, I'm really glad Heather Drain is back on this one. She's like the eminent knowledge of Sayedian. There is going to be a booklet in there, and there's 2,000 numbered copies of this. Numbers will be sent out randomly.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are after this. If you want it, there will be a standard, I believe. This is not something that is fully limited. It's just a limited edition release.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a big deal for a lot of people.
From now until the end of time, I guarantee you, everything I ever buy from Mondo will be a blind buy. I just don't believe I'll ever say, "Oh yeah, I saw that once." No. But again, the talk that people, the amount of talking that people have been doing about this film, I'm just like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I guess I should mention, I forgot to say, these are not shipping till January or February.
That's the one downside. I'm like, really? And I'll say I'm not going to email and be like, where's my delivery? But like,
that being said, they did just have a pre-order where stuff shipped like 3 weeks later. So
yes, absolutely.
It's a big difference. The next title, maybe the one that I'm most eager to see. This one is a 4K and Blu-ray of Bohachi Bushido, Code of the Forgotten 8. This is from 1973, and it's a Teruo Ishii film, which you may know from a lot of Arrow put out a bunch of their titles as well. You get an audio commentary with Tom Mess on this one, an archival audio commentary. Shinya Tsukamoto does an interview about the film and the career of Teruo Ishii, which is really cool. We got a slip cover on this one, like I just showed, reversible sleeve, and then we've got a booklet with new writing by Japanese film expert Mark Schilling, and again, limited to 2,000. This looks like a solid release.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Absolutely.
And then the third title, this is an upgrade for a film that they had on DVD many years ago. We are getting a 4K Blu-ray dual format release of Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay from 1971.
Whoa, come on, Ryan. It's a union job.
It is a union job, and I have been kicked out of the union.
Yeah.
This one is going to have a new 4K restoration, of course. Audio commentary with the writer-director Bruno Gantillon. Gantillon is probably how you say it, because I am a white, uncultured swine. New and archival interviews with the director, new interviews with the actress from this, a short film by the director, and then a booklet with new writing by Pete Toombs himself, plus 4 double-sided full-color art cards. Again, limited to 2,000. This is a big deal.
Most fucked up version of She-Ra I've ever seen in my life. At first, I thought you censored something from her back. I was like, what could be on her back that you needed to cover up? And then I realized it's bondage.
And done by a couple others as well there.
Yeah.
Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay. Glad this is coming out. Glad we're getting an upgrade.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know, do we know how much the bundle will be? We do. It is on their site now. It is $145 for all 4 titles.
Which is not terrible.
For
3 4Ks and
3 4Ks and then a Blu-ray. And let's get to the Blu-ray, because this is a big deal. This title, they announced this originally more than 6 years ago, and then immediately it went into rights hell because something came up with it. And as they say here in their little write-up, we announced this 70s Gaelic shocker more than 6 years ago, but the film went into rights dispute hell almost immediately. Some help from our good friends at Vinegar Syndrome. It's all been sorted out, and we could not be more proud to unleash this early example of French extremity upon an unsuspecting world. This is The Punishment from 1971, or La Punition. This one is going to have a brand new 2K restoration from the OCN. Audio commentary by Sam Deegan on this one. Interview with soundtrack composer and cast member Bookie Binkley. It's a crazy name. Interview with the author Jean-Luc Maret. Interview with the cinematographer Noel Very. And then writing on this from Jacques Spoor.
I think it's Jean-Luc Maret, but okay.
Yeah, whatever. 6 double-sided art cards. It's been a long show already. This is maybe the one I'm most excited for, because to be willing to put in like 7 years into one title is crazy.
What does that say about us? That we're like, can't wait to order this. What did Ronnie call us earlier? Moist demons?
Moist
demons. It's almost 1 a.m. Like, I'm standing in a mostly dark apartment talking about this movie about the punishment.
Yeah,
this naked woman crucified.
Chris says you save $8 with the bundle. Yeah, I mean, you get basically better than free shipping. Which
remember, you can also order all of your library things you haven't gotten yet from them at a discount.
Exactly. And everything's going to be on sale.
What do they do? 50%? Moist devil worshippers. Thank you, Ryan.
Yes, I believe almost everything is 50% off.
So like $10 in like a title, because some of the stuff is listed there at 20 right now.
I think most of them end up being like 14.
Oh, they go up the MSRP.
Yes, probably.
So
I think everybody does.
They don't list it the way that Vinegar Syndrome knows, where you see the MSRP crossed out and you see the other price. They only show a price, so I assume that was their price. Okay.
Gary's pointing out, you guys say certain mainstream movies didn't age well, and you don't even blink when you show this stuff. That is very true for a lot of people. I don't think I've said something didn't age well at all tonight.
To our argument, when I say it didn't age well, it started one way and went to the other way. This was never accepted. It's still on the outskirts of society. We're just eager to watch it. So, Yeah.
Wave is asking, have you seen any of these films? I'm thinking of picking up the bundle. I've seen some of Cafe Flesh, but not this version at all. It's not. I'm not even going to be able to say that I saw it. I've seen some of like a broken VHS version, basically.
No Cafe I've ever been to.
Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay, I watched a long time ago, like maybe right after the DVD came out. I remember it being decent, like pretty much most Mondo titles. I don't remember a lot of details from it, but it's very different for me nowadays.
So Wave is saying that standards are 20 and cases are 27, I think. And Wave, is that because they are listed at 20 and 20 like right now? So are they already now discounted down in anticipation?
They definitely go lower than 20. Like standard Blu-ray releases definitely go to at least 15, if not
So
$1.
Like Severin. It's kind of like Severin prices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is pretty much comparable with everybody, I would say.
I mean, I'm not looking for. I mean, last time Severin was like $7 for like a deluxe box, and like I don't know what's going on.
Wave is saying right now they're that price.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the Mondo Macabro titles. Those are being.
I'm assuming you put the bats up.
No, actually, Jared did that on himself because he's gone through a lot of censorship issues too. Like, their Vimeo channel got pulled during the last round, and Vimeo is supposed to be like the bastion of free speech where you can take like anything crazy. So, yeah. For the record, we are doing a recording of Wildside, the Mondo Macabro official podcast this weekend to talk about all the sale items. If you want any questions answered, there is a prompt in the Discord. You can come. I think there is. Maybe I did not post it yet. I will post a prompt in the Discord asking if anybody has any questions. That is where you can send those in, and I will try to get those asked on the podcast.
That's right, Anthony. List of perversion.
Coming soon. We don't have a date yet. Smile 2, the 4K steelbook from Paramount, can already be pre-ordered at Walmart. I think it may have sold out already earlier today. They'll probably release more because it's Paramount and they want money. But I am shocked that they went with this cover art on this. As far as I'm aware, this dude, which is Jack Nicholson's son, is hardly in the film from what I hear.
Is so because he's not the friend that dies that triggers the whole thing.
No,
because that's a guy from a bunch of stuff that I've seen. Yeah, I don't know why. I think maybe that's because it's Jack Nicholson's son, because the girl's obviously the star.
It's a decent poster. That's probably why they did it.
Craig, I don't know, but they cannot put this movie out soon enough. If I have to see this fucking trailer one more goddamn time.
Everywhere. Craig is saying, is this actually better than the original? It released today.
It has to be better than the original, because the original, in my opinion, couldn't even honor its own like world building. Like, they broke the rules just to get the movie to end. But this is...
Many modern films do that.
Oh my God. But this movie, like, I will show up late to movies to miss the trailers, and I still get the Smile 2 trailer at the end. It will not stop following me around. Oh my goodness.
Guess what? We only have 2 more slides to cover.
All right, great. Let's move on from the Smile 2 then.
Speak No Evil from 2022. This is the original Speak No Evil. The international Speak No Evil is finally getting an English-friendly Blu-ray release in the UK from Acorn. This is in conjunction with RLJE. I believe they're owned by the same company, actually. So it's kind of like RLJE doing it themselves.
Right.
But this is finally getting released in the UK. I hope they do a decent version of this, because the streaming version of Shudder titles are not that great usually. Like, there's a lot of compression problems, and then there's some subtitle problems. But I freaking love this movie. I've not seen the remake, but this one was great. I've been waiting for a good release of this. I hope it's good. I also hope that this indicates a release coming to the States.
I had heard about this, tried to avoid what it was about, because the person who reviewed it said, don't just go in as blind as possible. Skins in Call of Duty, you can buy that great way. I mean, that's just being yelled at by 12-year-olds over video games while running around with Smile 2 skins is like the least exciting thing I could think of in my day. But I didn't mind the remake is good. I mean, I'm sure compared to the original, it's not as good, but I thought it was the husband in the remake is the most useless character in the world. Like he was annoying as hell. But this is I have an inkling. This is my guess that we'll probably see this come out with the OCN partner labels.
Hopefully, I mean, I would love to see it. Love to see a good release.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shudder and Severin made that deal too.
Oh, I didn't know Severin did.
Yeah, I think they announced like 10 or 12 titles coming through Severin.
So Severin said that they got it cleared up. So, oh no, I'm getting all my titles mixed up. It's so late. That was Mondo. Yes, never mind.
Severin and VS have both partnered with Shudder.
Yeah, I was just thinking if they were gonna never mind.
Finally, and this isn't even a true announcement, I put up an interview late this week with Oscilloscope Labs, which is a company that you actually get a shout out in the interview because I say my friend has walked by the storefront and sent me multiple pictures of Oscilloscope. And
I did?
Yeah, you've sent
I
me
did not
pictures
walk by the storefront and taking pictures.
That's not true. I can go back in our history and show it.
I have said that I wanted to go to the store. It's in Brooklyn, but I have not sent you pictures because I've never been to it.
Okay. We'll talk about it later. Anyways,
I will talk about
it. I have loved Oscilloscope for a long time, and they are a label that has not been super out there, getting themselves on social media as much. They are pretty busy, so I finally got them. I got a couple people work on the discs to come on and talk about some stuff. It's not a super long interview. They were incredibly busy. Grateful they gave me some time. Hope people give this a watch. Is a fun conversation. Oscilloscope does not get enough love at all.
What was harder to secure, this or Yellow Veil?
Ooh, I started trying to get both around the same time, but Yellow Veil I'd gotten a response from and just could not schedule with.
Yeah.
So maybe Yellow Veil.
So who do you have left? Is this Second Sight?
Maybe. No, I don't have Shout yet. Criterion's the White Whale. Second Sight. I would love to get Eureka one day.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few that I don't have yet.
Yeah.
But what we need to do, which we always do, is check out what is coming out next week because, man, there are some big titles coming out the rest of this year. We've got The Sixth Sense and Signs on 4K next Tuesday. Deadpool and Wolverine finally getting its 4K release. Death Becomes Her 4K from Scream. Twisters 4K. Ghost 4K from Paramount. The US 4K of The Hitcher gets its release next week. The 2010 Wolfman 4K from Scream Factory. The newest Columbia Classics box set coming out next week. Deadpool and Wolverine also coming in 4K steelbooks, which are holding their value on everywhere that's selling them at like $50, which is crazy.
Ridiculous. One was listed at $69 when it first came out. The one with Deadpool.
So expensive. I don't understand.
What are you talking about? That is look, the Thanksgiving steelbook is still holding at $41. Like,
no, thank you.
Yeah, no. I do want all the behind the scenes stuff that Eli Roth shot or gave to the cameras to the cast and crew. Anyway.
Hellraiser Portent of Torment 4K from Arrow in the States next week. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari 4K from Kino. Gummo 4K from Criterion. Twisters 4K Steelbook. Cuckoo and Oddity getting their release. Cheeky getting its standard 4K release next week. In a Violent Nature from RLJE. Veep, the complete series. Creature with the Blue Hand and Web of the Spider from Filmmasters. El Vampiro from Indicator. Borderlands, that giant theatrical hit, getting its release. Broken Oath from Eureka in the US next week. 1982 Greatest Geek Year Ever from MVD Rewind. We are getting Fluke from Kino. The Intern 4K. Kung Fu Rascals coming next week. Vacation 4K. Village of Doom from Unearthed. I've been wanting to see that one since I heard that story. Hussy coming from Kino Cult next week. The Kung Fu Instructor from 88 Films, I believe, is still on track to be released next week. Plenty from Kino. Youngblood from Kino. Tag 4K.
Don't skimp on Slingshot. seriously, people, watch Slingshot. If it's streaming somewhere, you don't think necessarily go ahead and buy it. I'm just telling you, you're gonna be surprised.
Why did they have to take the poster art of them in a jar?
I don't know. I can't talk for the I can't talk for the poster art. Look, the Beast Within is just the dude from Game of Thrones looking right at you. I mean, it's still definitely worth seeing. All right, but the Hitch releases.
Interesting. I'd like to see Slingshot. Doesn't look terrible. I forgot the Babadook anniversary Blu-ray release is coming out next week, which is still very weird. Up the Creek from Kino, Good Girl Jane, the Arctic Convoy from Magnet, and those are the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
What do you already got in, or what are you hoping to get in?
Go to the top and scroll down if you could. Thank you. So, oh, at the top. Okay. I plan on getting Death Becomes Her eventually. 6 cents. I have not ordered, but I want to get that. Again, Deadpool, $70. I'm not spending $70, but I'll wait. I have Hellraiser Quartet of Torment already from when it came out in the UK. I want to see it in a violent nature, no matter what you say.
I forgot you hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, a horror movie is directed by Terrence Malick. I'm all for it. Cuckoo, the ambiance is great, but I'll tell you right now, there's parts of that movie missing. I watched it, and at some point, it just went off the rails. But there's stuff that is freaky in it, really like Brian De Palma meets like Cronenberg. It's just weird. It's a freaking weird movie. There's stuff that still just creeps me out from it. But
did you see Oddity yet? That's my big question on this.
I did not. It looks like the old willow tree from Pocahontas.
It does, but I've heard it's like literally maybe the best horror movie of the year. I really need to see it.
I'll definitely see it. They're saying it's the best. I do always get really interested in these indicator boxes. They look so nice.
They're good movies too in that one.
I just don't. If they were 10 years ago, I would buy it. But it's like I have to think of room and pricing that. Yeah. I didn't get to see Borderlands. I bet y'all if it's I bet y'all end up watching back. It's not great. It's not the worst thing ever. Intern is a really fun movie. It's one of those. It's like The Devil Wears Prada. Like, wow, everyone surprisingly really loves this movie.
Yep.
Obviously, I already got The Hitcher. Hussey is still available through Indicator. So you can always get it on one of their sales. I'm not really the Tinto Brass looks fun, but these things are a little too pricey to go for just 70s, art as Will would say. It's a great movie. You should really see.
I don't know that anybody's ever called Cheeky great.
I mean, again, everyone's got their own thing. I just think it's going to be a montage of a girl on a bicycle with her skirt flying up like for 2 hours.
Is it just me? Is every fourth movie on this list cheeky? I mean, there's 3 different covers, so I get it. But that's basically it. We've got the gist of it. Next week is crazy.
Tag does not need to be in 4K. I'll just say that. That's my last comment on that.
Great movie. Weird freaking ending.
Oh yeah, that just completely screws the pooch at the end.
Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.